I think I learned a lot, so yeah, I appreciate that alone. I think other people will hopefully learned as well. But for now, I will see you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Avec Sharif. For now, Brendan's at the big desk.
Hey guys, yeah, welcome in. 2 o'clock on a busy Monday afternoon here. Just be aware, Bostic speaking right now, making some comments on the overall conditions of the economy, saying we will be looking for early signs that changes in unemployment are starting to accelerate once again. But overall, we've had a few Fed speakers this afternoon, most of which have been on the hawkish side of things, or a little bit more hawkish maybe than what we saw from the Fed last week. So we'll keep an eye on that. Market doesn't really seem to care at this point. Anyway, the tech side of things doesn't really seem to care. Bank of America coming out just before lunch, in fact, with an interesting comment suggesting that quantitative tightening, or QT, might also come to an end, corresponding with the first quarter point hike potentially coming up in March. So the market did get a little bit of a boost on that note as well. We'll touch on that. Here's Bitcoin. If you haven't checked in a while, wow, we're back to 47,000. Don't look now. Nice ramp up going into what could be a busy week, as we said this morning, if you're with us in the pre-market as far as the ETF goes. There's a lot of things that could potentially happen as far as the ETF goes this week. We also had Grayscale refiling their S3, their initial ETF filing to transform the Grayscale into an ETF instead. They also named some of the liquidity providers or market makers they would use for that ETF, and came up with their fee structure that seems high, for lack of a better word at this point. But hey, what do we know? It's all about these semiconductors having a monster day right now. 5.3% on a huge bounce back for not only NVIDIA, but lifting most of them to the upside right now. In fact, day highs for NVIDIA on a volume spike once again. So semiconductors having quite the day, as I mentioned. You saw Boeing there as well. Downside, we'll talk about that. Hasn't really been terribly exciting, just kind of back and forth all day. But lots of green on this board to be aware of. Energy downside to the tune of, well, 4% right now. Oil bouncing as well. Heading into the final 30 minutes of the trading session over in Chicago for oil. Wanted to mention these as well. Banks very weak. If you missed it this morning, Sean touched on it really quick there. We're going to get earnings from the big banks coming up before the open on Friday this week. Danielle Shea coming up this afternoon. We'll talk to her about earnings season. She's always keeping a close eye on what to look at. I mean, there's so much to talk about. Let's jump right into things. We were discussing a whole bunch this morning. If you're with us in the pre-market, guys, do you just want to touch on, you know, some of this movement we're seeing right now, maybe NVIDIA, and then we'll come back and get into a bit of a review.
Mike on. Good. Yeah, right now I'm just all over GBTC. I mean, honestly, man, I mean, the way this Bitcoin is moving around, Obi was talking about if-then statements. If Bitcoin moves, then start trading stuff that's related to Bitcoin. So here it goes, man. We were short GBTC, and now we're just long as hell all the way back up to the upside. Let's just keep letting Bitcoin run. And again, 46.9, we're still watching it. We're watching out for GBTC. You don't see it at the bottom, but we're long right now. I mean, we've been long. We're long again right here. We started to go short when it wasn't breaking, and then as soon as it started to break a little bit higher, we are now long there on GBT. And you know, we could keep talking. We don't even have there NVIDIA, yeah, Boeing, forget about it. I mean, we'll get to that at some point. But yeah, man, I mean, as easy as it was right there, 500, still not in it. Well, it's not in it anymore, was in it. It's my biggest trade of the year. And, you know, hopefully it doesn't last that way. Hopefully we have bigger ones, but I would be fine, you know, if we can get some more opportunities just like this. So there goes NVIDIA. I mean, looking at it, who cares what we had in the past? What we have to look at now is what the future is going to bring. I mean, we didn't even come close. I mean, did we come close? I mean, we came about $1 or $2 away from the 200 period moving average. Other than that, the 50 has been okay, but it was really, really choppy in there. VWAP is now 511. Like, you're basically well off, and there's really, okay, let's go GBTC. We just got some more fills up to the upside. This thing's gonna break higher. This is really starting to go, man. We've done really well trading Bitcoin. I mean, we're up on everything. No, actually, funny, the only thing we're down on is Coinbase. And the funny thing is that we had this monster movement. We were short at 154.50. It went all the way down to 151. We had $3 in the money and didn't take it before getting stopped out for a flat trade as Coinbase hits 160 again. I mean, pick your poison today, whether or not you're Tesla. I'm still in Tesla. That's a $4 winner. Affirm was great until it eventually broke, but that was a good trade anyways. And then Alibaba was good. until it broke as well. We've done really well here today, and we're going to keep on trying to watch out for some of these crypto names as Bitcoin continuing to go to the upside. NVIDIA, what a day for the longs.
Yeah, the longs have been super strong, basically everything. I guess technically speaking, and we're starting off with Boeing there, but I mean, in a general sense, I'm in some new things from this morning, one of which I won't talk too much about. AXNX is being bought for cash. So that's $71 cash. We'll be trading some of that throughout the afternoon. I am into Rivian and Uber. Those are two new names. But just to get an idea, right now, NVIDIA is taking out a fresh high. So you are on a closing basis at some all-time highs. The move in Bitcoin has been tremendous. The last trade I had on a crypto-related name was actually this 2650 short, because right now, while Bitcoin, as you just showed with Sean, is making fresh highs and kind of holding those tops, Mars is making a lower high, up 9%. So we did wait around until it got to that past 26 to look for shorts. The last one was good. It was 26.4 down into 26.10. And then I saw the high get taken out. Every time the high gets taken out on Bitcoin, if I'm in a short, even though it was in the money, I just punched out a Mara. I was able to make 5 cents as Bitcoin was taking out the high. So while it's on a lower high, this feels like a retracement off that 26.5 level, but that's Mara. Also making sure that we keep up spot Bitcoin prices as well. Oh, the other thing that's happening is, we're not talking, okay, we'll get to chips in a second, but ARM is backing off the 73 level. It looks like ARM is starting to roll over a bit here. Super strong name as well, 8.5% for ARM.
All right, a couple things. First, this ONON coiling up here once again, right at 28.50. If you missed this as well, over lunchtime, the CEO came out. So this morning there was rumblings that Tiger Woods actually confirmed with a statement on Twitter that he was leaving Nike, and then there was rumblings that there was going to be some sort of a deal involving this company, ON Holdings. The CEO at a conference today comes out and says no such deal exists. So there was this huge spike downside on pretty heavy volume, but we're coiling up here again, looking like it might want to do something. So just be aware for ONON. Yeah, Boeing kind of boring today, just gaps down and goes sideways. Long story short, FAA going to ground 171 of the 737 MAX 9 after, I'm sure everyone's seen the video of that door flying off the airplane over the weekend. Terrifying, but yeah, so they're going to look into that. There was a precedent sent to the FAA, or a plan, I guess, from Boeing sent to the FAA today. They approved that plan when it comes to review of all the other planes, so should be just a matter of process. But all of those 171 are going to remain grounded until, obviously, they're cleared. Here is NVIDIA. I mean, the big news, there's a couple of things, guys. I saw AMD's CEO was making the opening speech or making opening comments at CES, which is going on all week long in Las Vegas. So chips getting a bit of a boost off of some action throughout the session that way as well. But the big news this morning for NVIDIA, they've got another version of this AI chip that they're going to be able to send to China. For how long remains to be seen, but that is set to start in Q2. What a monster today, guys, for NVIDIA.
Absolutely. Just one quick thing on Boeing, because I didn't trade Boeing today, but because SPR is going to be in play this afternoon, I just wanted to quickly get to that, because there was a short on SPR off the 28 level on the daily. So Spirit, of course, they're manufacturer for Boeing, so there's your 28 level. We shorted it one time at that price, 28 to 27.5 to 27 even, but now it's got this wick top into 30. That's a complete gap fill. If it gets up there and fails the top again, I'd look for the short off of that. But as far as NVIDIA goes, it is still making fresh highs to the upside. It's a wild one. It's a nasty one. If you've been short this name, hopefully you haven't been. But initially was looking for multiple dip buy levels. I can tell you right now that none of them hit. I actually thought we'd get a chance at a dip before this took out the 500 level. There's your 500 level. Once it broke out, there was a scalp into a hole. I took it to 510. So 502, 1s, 2s, 4s, and then 10 for me, out in front of the 10, just above the 9 even, and it's still going higher. It's been an absolute rocket ship. This 5.5%, it's not just about the strength that it's had, but this time when it backed off the 500, it held the 50 period. It held a higher low. Usually it would get all the way down to $400 when it turned. And now we're at an all-time high on a closing basis. I understand there's some wicks above here into those teens. You got a long ways to go until earnings, but this is a ridiculous start for them. And then the other stock which is going ham is ARM, almost up 10% at one point. Actually, I think it did get to, it might have gotten close enough to 10%, but it was very, very close there on ARM. I had one long off 70 into 72. This is another name in the chip space, which is going absolutely ham. It does feel like it's making a bit of a pullback off that 73 level, but I think this might just be a chance to buy the dip in ARM. Maybe we get a 72 or a 72 half fill.
All right. I mean, we've already sort of talked about it. Just go over, check it out. It's a sticky note. We already talked about this long. It's going to be a pretty obvious one, man. Long at 5 bells. When you bump your head up against the level too many times, it's worth taking it. So basically, that's what we did. That's Nike, because I thought we were going over there for a second. But we took it right away, immediately. Let it go all the way up. It's a $13 winner. We got out, or sorry, $12.50. We got out at $12.50 there. And it was definitely... I mean, I just thought we could have been coiling back down in. We should have left it for something significant to break. But I mean, either way, I feel like it was okay. We could have got back in there, but we didn't. So yeah, NVIDIA just keeps on working. Like I said, I did wind up selling some of this. That's going to be a mistake, but I mean, there it goes, all the way to the upside, NVIDIA. I'm really, really happy with it. It's helping the market. The market's almost up 2%. It's just such a crazy, crazy, amazing day to be long everything. And we're having, like I said, it's funny, we're having the best day of the year so far, but we are. So let's just keep this momentum going to the upside as GBTC. I just tried to short a little bit up here. We didn't really give everything back because I just kept on getting out for flat or making a penny. But looks like you're trying to take out 39 right now. GBTC off to the races right now as Bitcoin's over 47,000 right now, 47.1 you can see at the bottom left.
All right, there's a couple other comments here as far as Boeing is concerned as well. Apparently Aeromexico has come out saying their Boeing 737 MAX 9 fleet will be rejoining, quote unquote, rejoining in coming days. Doesn't really narrow it down much, but they don't expect it at least to be too much of a problem. A whole bunch to understand for Apple today as well. This came out, this Vision Pro news, as we were sitting here this morning in the pre-market. But yeah, Feb 2nd, get ready, it's coming. Very, very quick. You're going to have to pre-order, I think it was the 19th, they said. Friday the 19th, it will be available for pre-orders. And then February 2nd, you can actually go to the store because you have to be fitted with these, apparently. It's not something that you can just order online and have it shipped to you. You have to actually go and get fit for these headsets. Apparently, I was reading on the weekend as well, they're very heavy. So they're worried about having it on for too long. It'll become a bit of a problem. But anyways, also, there's this note from Jefferies this morning suggesting, well, there was this as well. Yeah, 16,000 foot drop out of a plane for an iPhone. That was the Boeing plane. Apparently that was one that was found and was totally fine. So good luck for iPhones on the quality side of things. Jefferies with that note this morning saying that 30% drop in iPhone sales over in China for the first week of the year, guys.
Yes, sir. And it is a pretty cool story. There were 2 phones that were sucked out of that 737. It's just that one was identified as an iPhone. For all you know, the other one, who knows what it might be a Huawei. It could be a Pixel. I have no idea, but it's not a bad story for Apple. That's to be sure. But it's weird to hear that headset is that heavy that people are worried about. Like how heavy? Like Apple doesn't strike me as a company that's gonna make it uncomfortable for you to wear that headset. But I wouldn't be too worried about that. Did have one trade on Apple. I talked about there not being a dip buy on Nvidia. There was one on Apple this morning. So a little context, you know about 180 on Apple on the daily chart. Let me just come off there a little bit, or you can just see me do this live. Make sure we get on our daily chart. That 180 hold was huge for Apple off the 200 period moving average whenever it decides it wants to load up. But you've been waiting for a turn this year and didn't have to wait too long. You got it on Friday, bouncing off 180. Today we said could be the up day because we ended up closing right back at 180 on the Friday show. And so we could either be gapping underneath, looking shorts under 180, or we're looking long over 180. It dipped into pre-market support, grip and rip, 181.5 into what was the pre-market high, 182.5, and then held it to 184. I'm not still in the trade. I got out, took my target. Never really got the fill back into 183 and VWAP there, but this is still trending on the highs. I feel like Apple is, apologies for that wick, I'm going to zoom in so you can see a little better here. If before we get to 185, there might be a chance at one last little dip. This market seems to want 2% today. I'm talking about the NASDAQ, and I mean the ES as well. But if the market's going to get that 2%, Apple probably gets to 185. And I think the next available dip to give you some opportunities up there to catch it. It's obviously a Bitcoin kind of day, a chip kind of day, but that doesn't mean there weren't opportunities on Apple. Apple gave you a clean $1.50 to $2 move for 1 point. There were so many long opportunities realistically, but like when I look up, it's just like you just said it, Sean. Like every time I look over, I just look at the crypto chart. So as impressive and great as Apple's been, it's like Bitcoin just continues to make high after high.
This is why
Another one.
I'm here for you guys.
Another one.
Because honestly, man, I mean, it's just one of those things where it doesn't really matter. Like I was saying, you never know what you're going to trade. Well, I do because of the sticky note. But then when things start going ham, I mean, now all of a sudden, I have like 100 fills or something on GBTC. Like we just punched long through O's, man. It just went, we just got a fill. You can see there's the O's. We didn't get long until 03. That's the problem with trading it, to be honest with you, is that there's liquidity. Like you punch in, like you're not even guaranteed to get the 20 right here. I tried to punch O's and didn't get long until 03. So there is some liquidity grabs happening right now on GBTC, but whatever, man. We were short early, then just long late, and it's just been going up, 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 as right now 47 O's coming into play for BTC. The highest level since forever. Here, let's, I have it up on Benzinga Pro. This is what I'm going to start to use just to watch this. We still having a ton of issues with our Chrome. Oops, year to date. Hold on a second. 1 year. Yeah, here we go. So even go to a 2-year chart. Okay, so right now, this is what we're trying to look at. See this 47,000? You know, we're right there right now. So we've just made it all the way back. That's last April. Actually, that's March of 2022. What am I talking about? So you go all the way down, get that garbage out of here, and now you're all the way back to 48,000. Could we slow down here? Yes. Yes, we can. But we'll wait to see if that is exactly the move. But just to give everyone an idea, you have 48. Like you can go back here 5 years, doesn't matter as we zoom it back out. But there's the level that we're at right now, 48,000. And look at this. Boom, it's been a monster here for BTC. We'll just continue to watch out for that. I know we're going to talk about crypto in a minute, so maybe we just jumped the gun a little bit there. But I haven't traded Apple, and the same story remains true for Apple, man. And that is just that it needs catalysts. We've already talked about them, right? Barclays came out, hammered it down. You know, now all of a sudden it gets down to levels where we know people are buying at the 200, and that's exactly what they did. Market up 1.7%, all is well with Apple, right? I mean, what a surprise. The best just keeps on getting bigger and better. There goes Apple back up to 185 by the dips.
All right, crypto, as you mentioned, guys, what a day it's been. I was just reading through this story about Gary Gensler this morning. A few people were mentioning this even when it first came out, but trying desperately to throw some cold water on this rally this morning, essentially warning of potential fraud and regulatory non-compliance for anyone issuing these types of products or related to these types of products when they do come out. But Twitter was quick to jump all over the back of Gary Gensler, and this is what happened, as we know, for BTC. There's supposed to be a vote at some point early this week as well from the SEC on some of the rules and final rules and regulations that are going to come through with these ETFs. As I said, Grayscale out this morning refiling their S3. There was a lot of names mentioned in there as far as market makers are going to work with Grayscale on their ETF, and then some of the fee structure as well. As we said this morning, guys, kind of pricey as far as what you're going to have to pay for these.
Yeah, we heard some of those fees. It's like, I don't know how excited I would be. Look, obviously it's going to be in early stages, and we'll see what happens with regards to fee structure on those ETFs a little bit later on in the game. As mentioned, look, I was long chip names this morning, but I was not long Mara. I actually went short once in the morning and then twice this afternoon, right? And essentially, being patient is like the only reason why this ended up working out. And it could have been a heck of a lot worse. Like if you fight it the whole way, you could be in a lot of trouble. But Mara, 9.5% up. Somehow this stock seems to always want to get into the high 26s and 27s. There was a bounce off of 22.5. I went short off of the previous close on Friday. That did not work. And once that stopped out, I was waiting for it to test up at the top. Thankfully, was able to catch one of those shorts off of this little wick in here and get like a 26.30, 38 short that got into 26 even. But just if you're wondering like why, okay, well, why here when it didn't break the high did I get out? as mentioned, I was just looking at spot Bitcoin prices, and Mara was making a lower high as a fresh high was getting taken out, and I punched out, actually made 4 or 5 cents. Like, I think I got half out there for like a 6-cent winner, and then the rest for like a 3-cent win. When really, like, not much seemed like it was happening, but I'm like, no, if Bitcoin's taking a fresh high, I do not need to hold that trade. So I did not. And as you can see, 9%, it's impressive. I feel like we're at a resistance spot, but until I see some reasons for a rollover in spot prices, I don't want to necessarily jump into that short. We'll get to, I thought we were going to talk about Tesla. Never mind. For some reason, I thought Tesla was going to be on there. I'll get to Rivian, which I'm in. Rivian is a VWAP trade. Uber is a VWAP trade as well. So like retracements back into VWAP. You'll see me in both those.
All right, I just shorted GBTC right here. Are we still on crypto? Yes, we are. Okay, so I'm in this right now. And again, it's hard to find liquidity, right? So you got to be very, very careful what you see. Like, I want to punch that 91. Can't punch it. So you're waiting to get that fill right now. Okay, there it is. We got a little bit there as it's just hitting on the tape. So yeah, we're slowly starting to get out. Remember, when I trade this GBTC, man, it's just kind of with smaller shares because, again, we're trying to find pockets of liquidity right now. We just failed at 47,000. So now we'll hold this short a little bit, man. We're short at, oops, was I on that the whole time? Yes, I was. Okay, good. There's the short through 39 right now. We are short 39 right now on GBTC. Watching, guys, ever so carefully what exactly is going to happen with spot. So we're going to continue to watch that as GBTC floating down a little bit. We're short right here. Unfortunately, we don't have the ticker for it. We've had some issues with PK, and we talked about that. So right now we're short GBTC, and I'm out of half already, just because I don't want to necessarily go short on Bitcoin here, especially this ETF that's been going kind of haywire. But again, look at that, 6.7. If you're wondering about that percentage, it's a 12-hour chart. Okay, so that's just the way it distributes itself here on whatever I'm using to track it. So it's 12-hour price movement right there for that. So far, so good. Let's see if we get a break lower here. As you can see, look at all the reserves, man. The spread is pretty juicy here on GBTC.
All right, let's talk some Lululemon. Nice bounce back after the gap down this morning. I mentioned if you were with us in the pre-market, it was kind of weird why it was down so much, first of all, and really not showing any signs of strength. They come out with updated guidance for Q4 2023 and going into 2024 as well. That was right across the board, better than expected. They pointed to better holiday sales, better traffic in stores for the holiday, and some of the promotions they had on during that period working very well. So we're at least back to green on the day, just 0.04 right now after updated numbers come in better than expected for Lulu. I have an opportunity for you, $2,400 this time. You thought that Amazon card from Trade Ideas for $2,000 was good. How about $2,400? They're going to give it to you January 24th to the 26th, so still a couple weeks away. Go get your copy now. Bottom right corner, Trader TV 20 will get 20% off for you as well. They're having another challenge. Again, the grand prize, $2,400 on an Amazon gift card.
24. I wonder I'm trying to figure out where they came that number with. I mean, it's fantastic. It's just I'm sure we'll think of it in a second. Good look for them. Now, I'm trading Mara, however you choose. Okay, you know what? Okay, Lululemon, neither one of us traded it. There was actually probably a trade on Crocs who came up with preliminary numbers, but we just prioritized other things. We actually said Crocs had a chance for a dip and rip. It ended up doing so. Let me just go to the chart because we'll talk, when things slow down, I don't mind talking about Lululemon. It was not much of a day trade. Crocs did give you a dip and rip off of the open and is up 20%. So when preliminary numbers happen, it's like earnings. You get some outsized moves. I just thought this morning Crocs was a better trading opportunity simply because of its short float and just the nature of the way the stock moves. Lululemon is not much of a day trading stock at all. But Crocs, very, very similar thing with the preliminary numbers. And the reaction to it, absolutely fantastic. Two-set upside. We'll get to some of the other. I want to get to Lulu when it slows down. But that 47, I'm just looking at 47,000 on my chart. I'm just doing this. I'm also using TradingView up here. So if you see me tilt my head to the right, 90% of the time, I'm looking over at Bitcoin or a level 2. That would be correct today. And the second I saw us get back underneath, I shorted that same resistance level. And if we break 47, I might just punch out where we are. Otherwise, I'm punching out at 26.5. I got a bid down where we took it before. If this were to pull back deep, 25.5 I have marked off. It was previous resistance, I think, can turn into some support there. So I don't necessarily think Lulu's going to be a trade. We'll see what happens with Crocs. I doubt that'll be there either. But either you're trading the chips, you have some standard setups like a VWAP or Trace on a strong day on names that are up for me, and I'll show Rivian and Mar in a second, or Rivian and Uber in a second, or you're trading something Bitcoin related. And Shadow, thank you for the super chat here. Laura Rogers, watch AQST. FDA decision on April 28th is a game changer. So look, at the end of the day, we'll trade anything with a catalyst, but if an FDA decision is coming until the 28th, I'm sure maybe you got some swing trade ideas, but for a day trade, the 27th and 28th might get interesting for something like that. We appreciate the super chat. Hope you enjoy the show. But the catalyst we got in Bitcoin, I think everybody understands that this ETF has been a big deal. I still don't rule out that you're going to have a sell event. But at this point, you just want to ride the momentum. The 47,000 level is the current key. And just because I said it, here's what I'll show you on Rivian before we go back. So been dipping off of VWAP. Oh, I just missed a dip just now. Down around 1925 with tops at the 40 level. So I've been doing that on Rivian. And Uber, very similar story. Uber probably a little bit stronger. This one has been dipping off VWAP in the mid 70s here and then getting up to 58.90, up 2% with a nice long consolidation off that top. The second I noticed this, I was like, oh, might as well just buy some VWAP here. Like Uber up 2%, despite the fact that it was DoorDash that got an upgrade today. And I forget whoever it was that upgraded DoorDash was saying that DoorDash was their pick for delivery. Well, Uber's up 2% because they don't care.
Yeah, it's good space to be in for sure. Another good space to be in would be the
crypto.
Yeah, the crypto and the dollar club, because we're in $4 clubs right now with Tesla. This is the trade from the open. Same trade, one out. So yeah, about this name. This is going to be my second best name of the day. We have the bottom of the day on Tesla. There's not a lower tick. It's 235.50. We're about to make $5 on this name. Well, we can make 450 now. But let's just see what happens at 240. I mean, we had written down here on Tesla today that we thought 235 long would be a good trade. We have 235.50. So is it a good trade? I mean, I don't need to ask Danielle Shea about this one right now, as Danielle's joined me on the market recap show and will join us today again at 3 p.m. All about that base. All about that base. No treble. No Tesla? There it is, man.
No trouble.
Yeah, exactly. There is no trouble.
I thought you were going to say no trouble, not treble.
Yeah. Well, I'd see it. The song is treble, but right there, guys. Look at this. 240. Let's go. We're still in it, man. That's all that you really need to know. Sean did his homework on Tesla. Not really, Andrew. I've been talking. I don't do any homework. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I sit down and I look at charts and that's that. I don't take my work home with me, period. Okay, look at this. Sean did his homework on Tesla. I mean, it's just honestly, I sit here every day and I trade it. And that's that. So we just sit here, we take the fills, we think about it. On my drive in, I think about what names I could possibly trade, things like that. And then when we get here, we start to look at the charts, we look at catalysts, and that's about it. So I honestly, there's no surprise here. Here, look, let me just show you what I do. I mean, everybody wants to know what's going on, so we'll just tell it to you straight as it is. How do I got to figure out how to open it in your browser. Here we go. Okay. So look, if you want to know about the sticky note and what's good with it, just look right here, right? NVIDIA, #1 name on the sticky note. It's right here. Crypto stocks, Chinese ADRs, right? Crocs, Lululemon, Palantir was on the sticky note today as a long. It's at the high of the day. You could have gone long at any point right there on Palantir, right? The only thing is on here is not Tesla. So maybe you're right there. We did do our math, our homework on Tesla. It's just mental homework, man. It's just like we've been watching Tesla for a long time. We talked about it being at the 50-period moving average. There's a bunch of sticky notes right here that I keep, and I mean, Tesla's been on it every single day. Actually, here's the last one, 240 short sell. So we had Tesla written down over the last couple of days, and again today it's all about that sticky note. And again, nice upside move. This is not a sticky note name, but it's a good one. GBTC as well. You guys want cash? I mean, I don't honestly, guys. Here's 20 cents in the money again. It don't for me. It doesn't matter, and this is what I'll keep saying this over and over again. I just trade where the money is. That's it. You know, if there's money in rebates, I go over there. If there's money in pink sheets, I go over there. If there's money in crypto, I go over there. If there's money in NVIDIA, we fly over there. You know, this is what it's about. It's about just trading, understanding the opportunities, understanding the, as Obi says, the gates. Reminds me, the gates of hell.
Gates of hell.
Right there. Look at what you're doing, you know, and I mean, there it is. I told you we had Bitcoin up right here. You know, so I'm watching it. There's the short, you know, so it was a good trade. Hopefully we'll just keep on doing it. Apple high of day, AMD, yeah, let's go, man. So first of all, the boring, man, my sticky notes are pinned right now on X. Go over to @TraderTV, Sean. It is the #1 thing here, pinned. Look, pinned right there. So thank you so much for that. And just, yeah, keep on rocking, keep on checking them out, man. We're almost out. We have about now less than 10% left. We just got a huge fill down there at 80s, 81 on GBTC. That was good enough for us, man. So a nice little fall down in there on GBTC. So again, that's me getting out of my long, by the way. That's the reshorted right there. So nice short back in. Let's see if we can get some money in here. Please slip me your sticky notes every morning. That's hilarious. I do slip them to you, and for free. So there you go. Go find it at Trader TV, Sean, and you're welcome, everybody. Just keep on watching. That's all that we ask.
Yes, sir. And oh my goodness, the market's making another high. I, for one, am shocked. We're not shocked. We're not even like remotely shocked. The NASDAQ continues to go, but there is, as you just pointed out, there is a pullback in Bitcoin happening, and it's not rocket science, man. If you're not looking at, where's my trail? Okay, I'll get out manually. I thought I had a trail there at 05, but I just able to hit 07s. It was about 30 cents there. But as we got back underneath 47, looked for the same short. I don't know if I'm not going to sit on the offer up there again. But if it gets to the top, and I'm talking about Mar, we get up to like 26, 35 to 40 again, and we fail 47, then I'm going to look to re-engage that short trade. It has been a pretty wild ride, but you are getting signs that you could be pulling back a little bit on Bitcoin. So we are going to be all over this throughout the rest of the day. I just mentioned Uber a couple of minutes ago, and it bounced off VWAP. It went right back to that local high at 58.9, so we'll rinse and repeat that. And look, whether you like, it doesn't really matter what indicators you look at. I could not have VWAP up here, wouldn't make a difference. Like, you would still see, like, this is $58.75. That's holding a line the entire afternoon. So whether or not you're looking at VWAP, it doesn't matter. I called it a VWAP retracement trade because that's what it looks like to me, but the level has been there. And then a similar thing with Rivian. We reloaded that one just now off VWAP. Going to scalp some out into the high 30s as it continues to go to the upside there. Oscar, Apple is close to that 185. It looks like it's about to try to tag that. Some size on the offer, not a ton, but let's go back to the desk with Brendo.
Just reading through a note on this company, AAR Corporation, which is, no, Ramin, it's AAR Corporation, which is AIR in New York is the stock ticker, still down 3%, but it was a heck of a lot more than that. So this company was contracted to install a Wi-Fi modem on the plane that the door fell out of. So initially this morning, people were suggesting that this company did some work on that plane and might have had something to do with it, but they came out and said they just installed a Wi-Fi modem. So back higher, guys, for that one.
That's a very bizarre story.
I don't know. I don't know what to think about all
like,
of that.
So people are shorting a company because they installed a Wi-Fi thing on that plane. They're speculating they would.
Well, the thing is that like that, if that's the case, and that company gets booted out. So
if that would have been the cause, I suppose. So, by the way, that stock was having issues before. If you look at a daily chart of Air, it's not as if this thing was exactly flying to all-time highs before that news. So yeah, I don't think I'll be touching that with 10-foot pole anytime soon. Not a lot of liquidity on it. Despite 1 million shares worth of volume, the liquidity ain't what you'd think for 1 million shares done. Apple just got to 90. Why do I see 83?
Oh, there's 240.
So we just got to 99 or 98 up there on Apple. It might be worth it to scalp the short, but that's a hard stop if it breaks 95, 85.
Here we go, $5 now approaching in the money. Yeah, watch out for Apple. I'm not, well, I mean, the short is, we was like, oh, we're not going to short NVIDIA. Remember, NVIDIA went to 500, then went pulled back to 498.50, and then ripped up, so watch out. But here's Tesla right now. And I just posted this on Twitter because today I'm so happy because we still holding 50% of this trade. So we took it out, one piece out there for 2,250, and then finally we're holding something for the whole day. And again, it's you know, as we wrote it down here, Tesla, it's right there. So maybe we wait for a 243 break on Tesla. So we have a bunch of just monster bangers here today. The only losing stock that we do have is Coinbase, but we made that back right now with GBTC, as we've talked about that. We are in GBTC right now. I'm short 97s. So it's printing 85s. So it's 12 cents. That's our best fill is down here. We're going to wait for another fill in the 70s. If we can get it, great. You can see Bitcoin is pulling off 47,000. So maybe we do tend to drift down a little bit from here right now. So that's going to be that play. And yeah, man, we're as pleased as a pig and you know what about this play. So it's just been fantastic. All right, AAL. Okay, so a big move up today, AAL, but look, as we've said, man, you got to just sometimes zoom back out, and we zoomed out, and we found this $15 level. So it just goes all the way back to May, where we had that level, then again back to 2 Novembers ago, November 22, yeah, so a couple Novembers ago, where you get all the way back to 15 again. You know, are we that comfortable with travel right now, this world? I don't know. But it's getting a nice upgrade today. I still say we fade this thing in and around 15. So if you are part of it, great move to the upside. It needs to get a little closer to 15 before this guy does anything about it. 520 for NVIDIA. Look, we called 515. We got it at 512.50. It's a 12.50. We're still happy with it. But maybe we got to go over to something else right now. Oh man, absolutely unbelievable run. I mean, is the same thing going to happen to AMD tomorrow? Breaking through 150, 150 probably. So watch out for that kind of a play. Like you get some good catalysts. And again, what's the news? It's the H20 chip in NVIDIA, now going to be sold to China. I think it's horrible news for the world, but I think it's great for NVIDIA and great for China. So let's just go over and see what happens right there moving forward. Intel gets that deal as well with Israel. A multiple billion-dollar plant going to be built over there as well. And you can see they're up 3 and a bit. This name, though, I think this is lack of catalyst. You could probably short Intel over everything else. So if there's going to be...
Micron's relatively weak too.
Micron, yeah. I'm just thinking like Intel really moves when there are catalysts. So when there's not, I feel like you can go the other way. 48.50. So again, just looking at a longer time frame here, we already broke through the 200 period to the upside today already once, right? You're still sloping down because of where we've come from. So to me, it's like you got to break through 48. We're at 48.50 now, which is why I said that number. Maybe you want to short it against that high. Could be something. You're now under the 200 period moving average right now on the daily. All could be good in this one, man, but we are still $5 and going higher now, or sorry, almost $5. We're 20 cents away from a $5 trade again on Tesla. So there it is, man. Like I said, one trade right there, $5. One trade right here on NVIDIA, $17. So all we did today was really hammer these things. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day. We're waiting for GBTC, and we're trying to find something else. One stock that I wish we would have made more money on, but still a very, very positive stock for us today is Affirm. And look at that, man. It touched 46. So we were short here, 44.50, 44.60. Took money, got stopped out the last time. But that 46 could have been shorted. And look what it looks like right here as I look at this. Look what it looks like on the 20-minute chart. Bang, right there to 46. Not just because there's the 200 period there. It's not that. It comes right up into $46, which should have been a level. Unfortunately, too obsessed with Bitcoin today. But hey, like I said.
That's the 200, right?
Yeah, but to me, it's just more about this, man. This is more about like, look at all these levels. 46 goes back to here, goes back to there. We dumped off at 46 right there. So to me, it's just, I wouldn't trust the 200 periods on these charts. You might know why. I'm missing a lot of data, but the thing is that it's the key support and resistance levels. So for me, that's what it is. So that's a mistrade.
Speaking of support and resistance, that's a good point to make. Actually, it's even better when a level like that happens to line up with a moving average. It just gives you more. I hate to use the word confluence. Actually, I don't hate to use it. It is confluence.
That is what it is. That's what we're looking for.
Exactly what it is.
Multiple things.
Multiple reasons to get in a trade, whether it's GBTC, Mara with spot Bitcoin prices, or the futures, Qs with Apple, and all that good stuff. But SPR is at that $30 level I was talking about maybe like 20 minutes ago.
Holy shit.
It's above 30 right now. Once it's back under, this is the wick top I'm looking to take a shot off of. Maybe risk 10 to 15 cents for a pullback. You can get like 29 to 29.50. That is the range. I did reload Rivian. I have not got a chance to reload Uber yet off of VWAP. But SPR down 5%, but at the high of the day, looking for this 30. It's filled in most of the gap. Pretty much all of it, actually, if you're going to go back to last week's support, not the entire gap from overnight. So once it's back underneath 30, looking for the short there. As strong as the market might be, this is when it sucks at resistance, I am looking to fade it. And Apple coming right back into 185. It dipped. Now we're about 15 pennies away from the top.
Oh my God. Okay, so I have like a new favorite guy, or they, in the chat. Stock up. Because stock up is right here. And he goes, this is what he goes. So we were just talking about Affirm and like that it went to 46. He goes, dude, the sticky note said short Affirm at 46. So I was like, really? Like, I don't remember that. Checks notes. NVIDIA long 500. Palantir long, we never got that, Phil. Tesla long 235. Oh yeah, Affirm, short 46. High of the day on Affirm, 45.98. All right, thanks, stock up. But all that's done for me now is just fuel my fire even more. And the thing is that not in a revenge side of things or anything like that, but just that if we're going to go, just be confident in what we're doing. So again, market up 2%. We call the top on a stock. That's, that's pretty ridiculous. It's one thing to say, okay, the market's up 2%. We were looking long. First of all, it wasn't up 2% when we came in today. That's for sure. But the idea was up 0.2 or something, 0.3. The thing is like, so looking long for me, looking long NVIDIA 500, easy peasy. Looking long, this is for me. I'm speaking for myself. Looking long, all these things, pretty easy. But to be able to look and call that top, so that just goes to show you that it was not at all looking at this. It was just those key levels. We know how we trade. We know where we trade from. So that's what it is, man. So there it is right there. Thanks, stock up right there, man. That means a lot to me that you're able to find that, because it's just giving me more confidence in some of the levels that we write down for everybody and now write down for ourselves. And you got to have confidence. Like I said, man, a confident trader is definitely one that's going to have profit in their sights, because the only thing that should give you confidence is success. Because that's the whole thing. It's kind of funny. It's like in gambling, this is how it works when you gamble. Trust me, I would know this pretty much firsthand, unfortunately. When things are going good, right? You tend not to make the bigger bets. It's like when things are going bad, it's like, oh my God, I just lost $100. And if that's a lot for you, it's like, I just lost $100 yesterday. So then today's bet, you're definitely betting 100. You may even bet 200 to make back your 100, even though it's after a loss. As you're winning is when you should be adding to your bets. You should be putting out more out to there. So all that this is doing, and remember we talked about gambling and reading the board. Well, this is my board. The board is the market. I can go back, and this is why, man, look at all these sticky notes. I kept them all. We can go back, and that, it's on Twitter, and I have to do this. And I think it was Nimit, actually, that was doing this for me, and just put it in the chat one time. And it's a success rate, which is why for our market recap show, make sure you join me today for the market recap show, as we have had a new segment, and it's just called Review Sticky Note. So it's sticky note review, sticky note recap. That's what we're going to be doing every single day here on the recap show, reviewing the sticky note, because we need to find out, where did we make our money? Where didn't we make our money? And why didn't we follow our plan? So that's going to be a missed opportunity there on Affirm. Although Affirm, very positive stock, missed opportunity being able to not take advantage of all of that. But Alibaba, anyways, getting close back to $76 right there. Look at GB. Huh? Yeah, I know. Look at GBTC.
Look at 71 this morning when I sat down, wasn't it?
Alibaba?
No, no.
No. It's well, yeah, no. Sorry, it was no 70.
Oh.
Sorry, yeah, not 70, 76. Where I got out there was that break.
72, 76.
Yeah. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
No, I was looking. I was like, yeah, it was at $71. I'm like, wait a second, $73, the actual print here for Alibaba.
I only half freaked out.
Sorry to
like,
scare everybody there.
No, because if Alibaba had moved $5 and I hadn't noticed, then
No,
I
me
would've
too.
been,
I was
I'd have been slapping the fail on myself. Like, how
what
the
am I
hell did I
talking
miss
about?
a $5 move on Alibaba? I knew it was at 71 this morning because I was looking for that 70 level. I just got into Apple. So look, it's 185. It's a double top at 185. I just got 90s. I tried to get some when it tagged 90 or 99s there. Tried to get some like 97s on the way back, but missed it. I might just sit at like 96s to see if I can get more. This is a pure scalp trade. 85 breaks, I'm out. It gets down in here into the 80s and 70s, the low 80s, 70s, maybe even the 60s, then we cover. Because this is a strong stock going into a big 185 level. I talked about some of these VWAP trades. So this is Rivian, dipped back into VWAP here at the quarters, just got some out near the top of the range at 35s. So we just kind of rinse and repeat that trade over and over again as long as it wants to. I see some small caps that you guys are mentioning in the chat. Market's at the highs. Oftentimes when the market can't make highs is when I'm looking for some of those to maybe run higher. But if you're looking for strength, you can find it pretty much everywhere. This one is of note, this ARDX up 30%. It's not your typical, I guess, like lower cap runner here. Like, it doesn't actually have a bad looking daily chart. It's stair step to the upside, and now you're getting a bigger breakout as well. So it's worth watching, but the volume's starting to taper off there. Apple is at that 185. I don't have to check my orders because I know I'm good. My stop order triggers if this breaks the evens, and I did just add there at 96. I just got the 96 level. So my average price will be 93s. Risking, it could be about 10 to 15 cents depending on slippage. Going to get a bit in the low 80s there. It's a scalp trade 100%, but it looks like it wants to take out this level. 100,000 on the offer of Apple when it's done 33 million shares. If they want to get through it, they're going to get through it.
Oh yeah.
It's not going to make a difference.
No, absolutely no difference at all. It's a slapper again, man. Upside as Tesla just keeps on going, man. 241. I mean, I'm not going to do anything until 243. We wrote down 243 for a reason, man. If we could take $8 on this, let's just go. I mean, how many days are we going to have multiple, like even over $10 is pretty crazy with NVIDIA. Let's see if we can do something similar here with Tesla. Just let it ride. And the thing that I'm most proud of, honestly, was the fact that we still have some of this. And a decent percentage of it, right? About 50% of this trade. So it's a nice move all the way back up to the upside on Tesla. So again, very, very happy with that. GBTC broke up. We told you we had 5% left. And there it is. So we just got out on that break through 39. Let's just see what happens now. It's not even, the market's not even going too far right there for us. But we'll have to watch out for GBTC. Again, GBTC for me, it's instantly right there. This is actually surprising to me. Well, it's because Tesla's that's why. Okay, it's because Tesla's unrealized. Yeah, so GBTC, my third right now, top stock here for me on the day, GBTC. And we just started trading this. We just started trading it, so that's pretty good. We just started at about 2 o'clock. So already there in 40 minutes, number one there. But we have over 100 fills, so we've definitely hit that a lot. We'll see if it comes back up to the top now. We'll still continue to watch out for Bitcoin here. As look at this. Here, shout out to Benzinga Pro again. We just touched out to 47,250 and now pulling back in again right now. We can just refresh this. I never refreshed this before. I don't know what's going to happen. There it is. The Benzinga. Oh, does it just go back? It just goes back to this crap again. Okay. Don't refresh. All right. So we'll find it out. Oh, there's Bitcoin. That's good enough. All right. So let's pop it out, actually. How about that? Right there. Oops. See text. Okay, I've done something disastrous. All right. But anyways, Bitcoin. There it is, man. 46.9. Trying to pull back a little bit here. I'm going to learn my lesson. Don't hit refresh, or else it goes back to your default. But there it is right there, Bitcoin, starting to go back upside again. Nice top of 47,300. Let's see if it takes it out. Congratulations. The only thing is that it's a Bitcoin pretty much specific story here, unfortunately, by the looks of it, as I hold a lot of different coins. And you can see right now, it's not really, I mean, sure, it's great, everything's going up, but you don't get like the outsized moves sometimes that you'll see in some of these crypto spaces. So actually, it's okay. Cardano was down to 51 off of a high of 64 the other day. XRP, I think, was up in the 70s. A lot of these stocks have pulled back, like 12, 16% on Polygon, right? Dogecoin, the amazing Dogecoin, down 11% in change right there today, and then just some other ones that I should just
I detect
disconnect all those.
A slight amount of sarcasm with Dogecoin there?
Well, no, I mean, I don't know. They say like pick names that you think have projects they're working on. So
nah,
I just
projects,
don't. That's what I mean. I just don't know what Dogecoin is doing.
No,
other
I don't
than
know either.
Everybody really likes it. So
yeah, I don't look.
I don't own that one.
I'm half kidding there, but not a single double digit in the last 24 hours on any of those.
No.
Which, considering the move in Bitcoin, that's not exactly normal. So I've scalped some out here. There was someone stepped in here like right at like 88, 89 on Apple. So if it gets back up to the top, if I'm going to be risking to that even, it's going to make some sense to scalp the trade. I still want to look over at, oh great, Uber just got to 59 even and found a seller at 59 even. And I'm talking on the dime. So it's not size on the level, but it tagged it and then started to pull back in. So I think this might be breaking toward the high of the day, which sits at like 59.10. At some point, you want the stock, which is bouncing off VWAP, to join the market and get back into the high of the day, which hasn't happened just yet. So Apple was a new trade. I did get one bounce here in Uber. NVIDIA is, you might have guessed it, at the high of the day. But you were saying Intel looks like it could be a short. I was looking at Micron, and Micron just broke VWAP to the downside. So there might be another chip name that's under VWAP right now, but if this market does decide it wants to make a bit of a turn, it's not like Micron's the growthiest of names in the chip sector. This 85 level, which also happens to be VWAP, looks pretty juicy. Sometimes it's about shorting weaker stocks if you can. If the market turns at 2%, this is looking about as good as any. So as this gets to 85-ish, if the market starts to make a turn at that 2% mark, I might look to fade this name in particular. Apple, by the way, broke the even dollar. So we did scalp some out, thankfully, but we'll end up taking a hit there. Oh, there was something I wanted to mention because we were talking, someone asked us how many trades we have today. This was like a little bit earlier. There's a difference between a trade and a fill. Our system counts the number of fills that you have. So I can have 100 fills, but that doesn't mean I had 100 trades. Like I had one long trade and then essentially, I mean, this is like one short trade because I never really covered anything before I got more. So I've had 2 trades on Apple, but you can have multiple fills within those trades. I'd almost have to go individually by each name just to see how many trades I had. Like in ARM, I had 1 trade I know for sure. But if I go to, say, Mara, like there's 1 trade, 2, 3, 4 separate trades, but lots of fills on Mara. So it's a little bit different. Most of the times if you hear us talk about like a big number, it's probably the raw number of fills that we do have. Ooh, and Mara did bounce off 25.5. That's a good look. This might be a good support level.
Some of this stuff is bouncing around a little bit here. I guess we'll just wait for a firm to get up to 46 again. I still want to short Apple. I mean, I don't want to short it today, no way. But maybe. I mean, I know Neil's just looking at it at 185. We'll wait. I did put a stop order in on Tesla. Cry me a river. So we'll wait to see where this goes. If it breaks back down through 240, so all I did was looked at this, huge move up, 50-period moving average. And I'm just giving it to the bottom of these wicks. So breakthrough basically 90, back down to the downside. I just checked my stop, man. Our stop was a break of 234, so $1.50 worth of risk. We were just in the money almost $6. Well, we were in the money about $6 there. So this is going to be good, man. So we're just going to do that. Like I said, you're seeing everything that I'm doing here today besides GBTC because I talked about it because you don't see the fills. We're out of GBTC now. We're up, man. The only red name that we have is Coinbase, and that's, yeah, I mean, whatever. It's not whatever. It's still not happy with it. We did have $4 in the money there, and we didn't take it. So that's why we're down, and we understand that. But again, when you're down, it's good to be down a cup of coffee. I'm going to have to go get one, actually, after this. We have Danielle coming on in about 5 minutes.
There's a number as well at 3 o'clock.
What is the number?
It's like what is it? It's like
Yeah,
a consumer
it's
credit for November. It's not
consumer credit.
It's not a huge number. It doesn't
Yeah.
make a difference, but it will come out while Danielle Shea is on.
Yeah, I mean, consumer credit's at all-time highs, and you're in the T spot with that 1 trillion. We'll see. I don't know exactly where that number comes up, but credit card, we talked about AXP and how high up there
Fresh
are.
highs today.
Fresh highs. I mean, it's amazing. We love AXP for sure as financials continue to work. A name that's been working has been Pfizer, and Pfizer again returning to the high of the day. But the thing is, the market's up 2%. What is the NASDAQ up?
And Moderna's having a better day.
Yeah, so 1.1%. So a lot of the heavy lifting being done here in the chip sector. And we talked about that with SMH. And again, it is about pumping the recap show actually, because on that show, we'll talk way more about sectors and more about key levels. And I've talked over and over again, and we just missed it again. Like, hey, it's me. Anti-hero, Adara, anti-hero. But right there, 160, 161, like we talked about some support. This 50 period's not going to be right on here, so I'm going to have to relook at this. But whenever you find support here on the SMH is where I want to buy it. I just feel like no matter what the price of these stocks are, with NVDA, Broadcom, which is AVGO. I mean, where's AVGO right now? I don't even know if I want to look at this, how high this name is. So there we go, 1,100 right now, breaking highs right there. Well, let's see if it gets to 1,100. We had a huge move up. It looks like this name needs to have some work. So it looks like it's only NVIDIA that's absolutely at its highs, but AMD is going to break higher, Micron's going to break higher. A name that I really love in this space, Adobe. This name is, again, another name that I own a lot of names, so it's not like I'm going to say I own this, I own that, but this is another one that I own that I think could get right back up to the upside. That's given some off. So again, play some of the stronger names in the right sectors, AI, chip names, things like that. Adobe, again, with Photoshop and the use of AI as far as this is concerned, and ChatGPT and all that kind of stuff. I really like Adobe, and I think Microsoft is going to be the biggest name that I dip by at some point.
Yeah, I got a nice little wish list. Actually, I like some financials where they are. We'll talk about them a lot as we get Friday, the first spat. It's like the first 3 banks come on Friday, and then you get the rest of them next week. But
Pick some up today. They're down.
Well, no. There's a breakout on the ETFs that I'm kind of looking at. I've already sort of been I've had some dip buying already in TD and Morgan Stanley, which I do own. I'm gonna get to Spirit here because I did jump into this. I was waiting for it to fail the $30 level. Let me show you the reason for the level. It's not that difficult to decipher. Last week, 30 was the bottom for a couple of days. That's like Wednesday and Thursday. That was your bottom. So once it got there, broke 30, and then came back underneath, shorted it at 90s, give it to the high, looking for it to go 1-to-1 at 60, and then just kind of see where it can get to the downside. So SPR down 6%. You probably know why. It's because of the Boeing accident on the plane. Spirit being a supplier for them. Rivian just ticked the high of the day. So 1942 I have as a high. I got a bad wick in there. I just got some 40s. So we'll ring the register on that. It's just a VWAP retracement play. One of the indicators, and I think someone had asked about layouts for trade ideas. As you can see, hey, check tradertv.live to get 20% off at Trade Ideas. I use Trade Ideas. You can have like a pulling back into VWAP, pulling back into previous support. They have all kinds of indicators out there. And during lunchtime, if I'm looking at a stock at a good level and it's pulling back in to VWAP and I see support there, a lot of times we do like that trade. So that's Rivian. Uber was the other one. Both of these gave you a chance since we came back on to pull right back into VWAP, and they're both heading higher. But you know what? The market's heading higher. We are now officially 2% up on the NASDAQ. Thank you very much to NVIDIA for doing most of the heavy lifting. They have been the rocket ship, but they're not alone. The entire market looking pretty strong. I did want to get back over to ARM, just a different chip name, because it was pulling back. I had this little trade in here right as we were coming back in. I dipped into 750, trying to get really, really cheeky as if I could. I don't know, it was a pretty cheeky long off of the 50 level, thinking that you can ever risk 10 cents in ARM to make a trade and then actually risk less than 10 cents, which is that's not the amount of risk that you want to have, but that's getting in on the front end. Now it's starting to consolidate higher and could make a run at that top. It looks a little bit better if you can start to get some buyers. It's a very thinly traded stocks for. But SPR, new position alert for me. The rest, a couple of dip buys on Rivian and Uber. And if you're still tracking Bitcoin, I'm not really, like, I'm away from the Mara trade. I liked it off of this 2640 level. I can be enticed into a lower high as long as I continue to see some weakness in spot prices in Bitcoin, almost at GBTC. But it's back above 47,000. And my litmus was, above 47,000, I wouldn't be looking for shorts. That's the only reason I'm not shorting this pop, is Bitcoin's back above 47.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm watching Bitcoin here as well. As we wait to get some more GBTC up in there right now. Speak of that, we will talk about it today. Oh, I forgot to add Sean's tweets today, but thanks to you to Adara for this one, because look at this. The first ever time in history, we making history, baby. So it's another one right now. It's not a dollar club. Nah, it's not that. It's just a Travolta, like, huh? All right, so Travolta's like, oh, this is the first time this ever happened. The first time in its history, BTC forms a golden cross on the weekly chart. So there it is. It's happening right now. And there it goes up to the upside. We'll see if it can. That was at 43,000. So there we go, man. It's a nice little upside move, and we'll see if Bitcoin can continue to go. So thank you so much to Bar Chart and to Adair for bringing that to our attention right now on January 8th for the weekly. Remember, weekly chart. So today is the beginning of a week, so that's why you're looking at that. Anyways, there it is right there, finally happening for the golden cross back up to the upside there for GBTC or for BTC. We are trading GBTC as we get going. So again, it looks like we will. That's still NVIDIA. It looks like we will eventually be able to get out a little bit here on our Tesla trade. It's back to that 240 level. Now, honestly, that high right there coming into play again, 240.35. I'm getting ready to think about that. I would like to see a 240 break clean. So that's kind of where our stop is right now on GBTC. So, sorry, on GBTC. I'm still looking at that on my other screen. On Tesla, so we'll watch out for that. I haven't really initiated any new trades, but I am looking for some more ideas. Roblox, we do have Danielle coming up in just a couple minutes, so that should be really fun. Roblox is again another stock I really like, but a little bit underperforming here today as Roblox down, up only 0.75, but down about 1.5% against the market. So that's kind of a relationship that I'm trying to figure out, because right now it just took the 200 period moving average. This is normally for me a short. I'm debating going short right now on this name against 42.15. Oh, that's right now, right against that high. So definitely something to look for. Do I want sticky keys on? No, I do not. Right there, 42.15 for a potential downside move there in Roblox. So let's pay attention to it. I love this name, and I actually want to buy this at 40 bucks. There's another name, actually, that we talked about with Danielle on Thursday when she was on our last time we had the market recap show, but she's coming back very, very soon. Join me tonight as we'll have Michael Noss on. Here we go. Here comes Tesla, looking like it wants to break through 240 again, so be careful with that one. Peloton was a monster trade for me, and I think it was my number one name maybe on Friday, but... Okay, so it's down 3% today. Trying to make the move. Yeah, 630. Again, no catalyst today. We absolutely destroyed this name on Friday, and again today it wasn't even on the radar. So
I had a flat trade on it.
What's on with NVDA?
Reloading my trade ideas there. For some reason, my trade ideas closed. I didn't realize it. But I had Peloton breaking the low of the day and then showing like previous support and resistance. As the market was at the high, I like stocks that are relatively strong, relatively weak, so obviously relatively weak. So I shorted it with about 4 cents worth of risk down into the bottom, got 7 cents there, and then stopped. Didn't reload it, and then just sort of stopped it out. And that's, to me, that trade, it's either failing off the low and making fresh lows, and if the market turns around, great. But if it doesn't, then I'm going to make sure I have that tight stop. You could have tried, I could have reloaded it here and scalped it again, but we would have had the same net result ultimately. And it's now back at VWAP. But that was a failed. It was a good breakout for the day trade. It was a failed breakout at 670 on the daily chart for Peloton because it's obviously not continued through. So I did have it. That was at lunchtime. Didn't really last very long, just a few minutes in there. As I mentioned, SPR, we are in that. When we do get the, I haven't heard the okay on Daniel Shea. We are expecting to have her on.
Yeah, the news is that right now that's on hold.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
So we're still waiting to hear back from her. She may or may not be unattending today. So Hold off on Danielle Shea. We'll hold off on Danielle Shea. We're excited to have her on. It's just,
Oh, of course. Always.
you know, we don't want people to come here for 3 o'clock. And normally she'll retweet stuff of ours when she's coming on. So I don't think that's happened here today. So we will double check with her. And if she doesn't show up, I'm just going to ban her from all shows. No, we love Danielle Shea right there. So we'll work on it.
Have you seen the Microsoft chart right now, by the way?
Oh, man. I assume it's ripping. I mean,
Well, this is ripping more than most. Like I would say right now, Microsoft chart is the one since about 2 o'clock, since we came on. It's not parabolic, but if you're just looking at the Magnificent Seven names, this does look like the strongest move in to the upside. I mean, Apple, when it broke that 85, I got out at 02s, and it's still at like the 20s. It's like at 185.25, so that's kind of slowly going up. This is accelerating into the upside on Microsoft. That said, we all, when in doubt, zoom out. This will be able to tell you. You got big resistance at 77, and then last week.
What?
Last week, you've got this level here at about 75. Like the highest close off that 77 high is right at about 70. I think it's 75, half 76. So you are getting into some decent sized resistance. For now, I'm just holding the 2 reloads into the longs in Rivian and Uber. Short SPR it's in the money, but SPR has not given me an out just yet. Like it's slowly grinding low. I mean, very slowly grinding lower here. Like the fact that the volume's tapering off, it gives it a better chance to fall, as there could be some profit takers upside. And rightfully, Mr. Blue, yeah, you're right. The uptrend on Google is pretty good as well. I don't know. I was just most impressed by that Microsoft move. But you could easily point to the Alphabet chart and say that as well. I just thought it's a little more steep in Microsoft. Like Google's had the same upward trend all day, whereas Microsoft at about 2 o'clock, like that made a left turn at 2 o'clock. Right, like just a little bit more acceleration, but they're both doing fantastic today. I mean, come on, if you're long today, the market's green, you can't go wrong. It's the first time you've seen 2 bulls on the desk in this year, which, actually no, well, it's been two weeks probably, because the final week of last year as well was all pretty bearish. So it's the first time it's looked like a bounce spot. I actually think it was Apple 180 is what did it for me. Once that stock found a bit of a temporary bottom, that's why I was looking for some long. Steve G, Sundial short. I can't think of a reason why I would short Sundial. It's not moving. Its volume is only 4 million. It's barely even at a key level. Like if it, you know what, if it was moving and it was a little tight to the top, the volume was a little bit better, I would consider it. But I'm not really seeing anything there on Sundial. When the weed names are moving, we'll trade them. Don't get me wrong. Like Tilray, they report soon. Tilray?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look at Tilray when it moves. We were looking at MSOS the other day. Traded some Tilray recently, but you know, Sundial's not doing anything today, so I don't want to be on it. And SPR we just put on because like, clearly this is a volatile stock today with the Boeing news, so I anticipate that it can give me a nice little pullback off that high. So you have to have some expectations. And DJ Baggins, what's up with MSTR? I don't know, crypto's moving a bit, so that's what's up.
Yeah, I never would have thought about a stock that is 100% basically in Bitcoin would be moving around today. Shout out to whoever that was in the chat asking me to say that people are talking about Bolero here. It's BOWL, so go bowling with this stock. You are 100% right. The short float is 85% on this name. So I don't.
Is that it?
I don't know what up with that, and unfortunately I can't. Benzinga has Apple's stats down here. It does not have a market cap of $2.8 trillion.
Doesn't it though?
So it does not have that, nor does it have revenue growth of 16%. It could be higher, it could be lower. I just don't think that is what it is right here. Then I scroll down and I see Apple is among the largest companies. So they don't have that, but they do have a bunch of news here on Bolero. Meme stock, treated as a REIT, so I don't know if there is a dividend on this or not, but Bolero right now is bull blasting the shorts. But I just don't know if this is a short squeeze or what, as Bolero all the way to the upside. I'll keep saying that because the only other arrow I know is Valero. But right here, when do they report? Feb 9, so we still got a ways to go on this one. But yeah, also confirmed here with a short float of only 21% on trade ideas. So Benzinga has it 80, the chat had it 80, and Trade Ideas has 21%. So just want to go over that. I don't again, without any catalysts, I don't know. Okay, so D-Loaf is already predicting tomorrow's sticky note to have Palantir on it. It may. It had it on today and it had 1580. Unfortunately, the bottom of the day was when we opened up, and that was it, man. There's been no pullback in Palantir. Up still 4.85%, and a pretty nice day for Palantir. I mean, I love this stock. I love the name. We've
Pretty
talked
nice.
about it. Yeah, 5%. It's nice. But the way it drops pretty quickly. But anyways, yeah, down into this area. We can't be too greedy anymore. 1550, if we get a pullback. Like, this is just a one-day move I'm expecting in the market. Let's see if NVIDIA holds water and keeps going to the upside. I wouldn't be surprised to go the other way. Not that it's going to come down. I actually think that we could get some upgrades tomorrow in NVIDIA now that we've taken out these levels, because now you're at all-time highs and you're taking out all-time highs as we speak. I mean, NVIDIA hasn't been up here before, let alone closed here. So let's see if we can close northbound. Like, so we have it closing as our...
That's not right.
It's not right. The highest closing day here. I'll just call it up. Let me call it up on...
Ideas.
Yeah, we'll call it up on Trade Ideas here. I'll show you the chart right here. The 52-week high is 505.48. So here it is right here, listed 505.48. It happened just last, I guess, November 17th on their, I think, was that their last earnings call? No, it was November 20 something. But anyways, there it is, a nice move up. I think it's right there. So now you're at all-time highs clearing these levels. If you don't, this is why today, man, we just had to have this pressure. It's the biggest green candle on NVIDIA since, I mean, this September. We have a couple monster candles here in August. That's the report there. Then another one in September, and then again another one today. So it's its largest candle in a quarter year today for NVDA, and it's still taking names and going higher here. So, a firm is going back to 46. Well, then, hey, we already been mad about that one time that we had that listed on our platform. We didn't trade it. So AFRM, a top stock for me today. Not close enough, my friend. That got to, let's go 45.90. So thanks for reminding me. I'll put a 45.90 bid right now on a firm. And then Tesla is getting closer and closer. It's getting tired right now. So I was going to give it to this wicked down candle.
S&P's at 48.
Okay, well, the S&P's not following as much as the market, right? So, as much as the NASDAQ. S&P 1.18, and that is because of what Neil was talking about before. Some of these bank names are red today.
Yeah.
So watch out for that.
Just a couple of things. I now realize why people were asking about MSTR and what's going on with MSTR, and with kind of tongue-in-cheek, well, Bitcoin's moving, so this is going to move. Well, it's down 3%. So this is why you're asking, like, how can MicroStrategy be down on a day where you're seeing, I mean, what's the adjective? Throw whatever adjective you want, but I mean, you've been firing to the upside on BTC, but MSTR is struggling. I don't know the specifics of why. I do know Saylor just recently sold some equity, presumably buying more Bitcoin, which you would think would be a bullish thing. But the technically, which is what we're here to talk about most of the time, does the why matter? Like, it goes down at the open when everything was strong, and then this is 630 support. There's 630 support. It flushes, it bounces, it turns at 630. It then bounces off 600. It turns again at 630. When you hear us talk about just play the price action as a day trader or as a short-term trader, that's exactly what we mean here. Yes, it would be really cool and nice if I could explain to you exactly the reason why MSTR is going against the grain. But ultimately, if I was trading this name, I might care at this point when it's flushing at the open. When I see that curl here, I probably need a reason to jump into that trade, although I like that previous support to resistance. But the third time, I'd probably just take it at that point if I was looking at the stock. That's just how I roll. And that's what you should do. Stick to your lane. And if technical trading is what you do, then just stick to that. Speaking of such, the $30 level, as we said, came back in. This time, if it gets to 70, I am going to just pop on the bid here in front of the 70. This is the second time I've seen it get through the 80s, and I'm waiting down there for 60 for the first out on SPR. It did work once. We traded it one time this morning off the 28 level. It was the one short that was pretty clean this morning. I really only put a couple of them on. This was one. Mara obviously did not work out. We were able to get it back trading Mara in the afternoon to be flat on Mara after the early hit. But one trade off pre-market high, SPR 28 to 27.5 into 27. And NSTR, BK Stoney. Here, we'll just put up what you just said in the chat here. What do you got? Speculation is that the ETF will hurt NSTR's price action and the CEO dumping. Yeah, I thought he had already sold shares, but if he's selling more shares, obviously that could cause a push to the downside. So yes, it's great to know the why. As a day trader, you don't have to know the why. If it's something explosive, like you don't want to trade Boeing without knowing the news today, but you can still work off the price action regardless of that. I'm going to get back into some chip names for you guys. D-Factor, I'll get to AMD in a second. But NVIDIA is breaking high of the day. As everybody can see, the stock that I was looking this afternoon to get into, this is where I'm second guessing ARM, because as you were about to break tops on NVIDIA and you're holding a topping pattern, ARM is continuing to break down. So this changes how I was looking for buying above 72.5. That's the complete opposite of what it's doing right now. It'd almost have to be VWAP at this point. So I got to back away from ARM in terms of looking for that long. I said I was looking for a long. It's kind of obvious that I'm not seeing the strength on the stock that I want. AMD is not on my radar, not at these prices. It's holding 5% up, which is just as good on a percentage basis, but it's not at the highs when NVIDIA is at the highs. Doesn't mean I want to short it because I know which one I want to short. It's this bad boy. Micron's already trailing a bit. Micron's underneath VWAP. It's now consolidating underneath VWAP. So if the market decides to roll over, this feels like lower hanging fruit. I'm not saying you only short names that are underneath VWAP, but when the market's at the highs, a stock and the sector is at the highs as well, then a stock which is under it is giving me some signs of weakness. So I was going to wait for VWAP here, but I'm thinking I should just be in this consolidation where we sit. It's about 25, 30 cents worth of risk as we speak.
And the market just bounced again off the 50. The market just bounced again off the 50-period MA there. I was looking at XLF. That's from before. It's actually up today, so my bad on that one. I thought it was down.
I thought I had it. Oh, I looked at it this morning.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just going up starting right now. But look what's happening with Tesla right now. This is a face slapper. You know, we're now almost $6, and we're at the highs of the day. I don't know. It's the only trade I have on. So, and again, I don't want to go too crazy here. It's 316. We'll find out something else what's happening. We have AMD pulling back to the 50-period MA as well. So this could be a trade. You want to buy. So again, I keep saying this over and over again, and I'm not trying to like overspeak here. It's just, it's 317. The market is super heated today. We could pull back, and I say this all the time, and this is why I'm saying, like, I don't want to like sound like a broken record, but often the market will pull back and give us that move, but then that, to me, I miss opportunities because I'm scared to go long up at the high side now. And I understand, and again, that's a problem that I have. You know, hopefully it's not one that you guys have. But like, this is pulling back in, and we just talked about where this was going. See, it just broke through the 50-period moving average. You're underneath the 200. We sort of talked about this a little bit. This could be a short. Again, it's just, do you really want to short today? And I mean, I just feel like the risk right now is going long on some of these levels. But then my rule of thumb is to not go short kind of as the market's blasting like this. I think Adara sort of, or maybe it was Obi or someone just on the midday, I was listening to it, and it was just, they always talk about trend being your friend and stuff, and it's just like, Adara was short NVIDIA or something, and then someone was like, you know, probably not a great idea to be short a stock that's so strong. Well, I'm kind of thinking the same thing here about the market. You know, like, I don't have a problem. I mean, I'm here to tell you, I go short all the time, and I don't have a problem doing that. It's just, where are we right now? You're approaching 16.8 again. So let's fail up there and then maybe go short. So we've already done that. I just don't think going short now against that high is the right idea. I'd rather test it again, watch the fail, then hit the short. I think like that's going to be the best way forward. And believe you me, you know, I'm not sure where this market goes from here, but we're at the highest spot we've been at all day. You know, we're raising it up. The AMD trade is still here if you like it. I'm going to be pretty happy with what we're doing so far, and I may just keep sort of some of these profits closer to the vest, although we do know that we want that affirm short. Again, if that, oh no, I said did I say 80s or 90s? But it just went to 80s again. So we got to put an order at 80 this time and take this short. So Affirm is going to be basically the name that I have on my mind right now. What's up? It says the Cantina Man. Yes, and if anybody is Italian there, it's of course not Cantina. It's Catina and it's Catena for you Italian folk out there. And a cantina is it's actual thing. It is like a wine cellar, like it's like a cold cellar in your basement where Italians or anybody will store such things as sauce, as their freezer could be in there, for example, and just various peppers, jarred things, such as jarred eggplant, peppers, roasted peppers, things like that. So
Easy on the delicious stuff.
Catena is actually in Italian. It means a chain of mountains.
Really, I didn't know that.
Because
Yeah, it's interesting. I've known you this long. We've never actually. I did not know that. I also. Oh my goodness, I actually don't call it a cantina. Our cold room has everything. Not enough maple syrup because it wasn't a great year last year harvesting. I probably said that a couple of times. Okay. But we have this chili sauce that my mother-in-law makes.
Right, that's exactly sauces.
Oh my goodness! It's like I put hot sauce on a lot of things. I put her chili sauce everywhere. I'll put it on pasta sometimes. I'm like, I don't give a damn. But a couple of things just happened. One good, one bad. I'll get to, you know what, let's go to the bad one first before I get to Uber, because I wanted to get to Micron. I like shorting things that are weak. I don't know that I gave this one enough room, but I said if I'm going to short it not at VWAP, then I'm going to short the local high and give it a stop into this 90 area. I end up taking it out, so we'll risk about 15 pennies on that one, but I'd much rather short something which is showing you that it does not have the same strength. If I jump back into a short, I do still think this can be one. I'm now out of Uber. This was a VWAP retracement trade, so you'll probably see a lot of these throughout the days, but at the end of the day, like, you don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. It's shown weakness at the highs at 59.10. It's bouncing down into 58.75 multiple times, but it could not break through the top one more time. I'm going to cancel my bid for now. If it comes back into VWAP, it bounces and looks like it's going to bounce, I'll probably take that one more time. Rivian as well, making a bounce off these lows. You just want to ensure that when the market gets range bound at the top, you take some profit. So the VWAP trade, it kept making lower highs, and Rivian eventually broke out. I'm now trailing this back into 44. I want to see this take out the high of the day. Rivian's got some room to run here. It just bounced off the 50 and 200 period. As a matter of fact, this is the first green. Knock on wood here. This is the first green day that it's had since failing this top up at about $23. So it's 3 or 4 days in a row to the downside, and now you're rounding out this bottom. I'd love to see it make a charge here at 1975. But you're running out of time for that move to happen. It has been a good name here for me, but as we said, it's 320. You're struggling at the highs. You want to make sure you're grabbing some profit. So only 2 positions left on. I said I would get my bid tighter to the 70s on SPR. I could have left it at 60s on SPR, as it just hit 57. So we talked about waiting for 30, waiting for the failed break at 30. I can cancel this offer, don't need it now, and then roll into the short when it consolidates under. So that's what I'm looking for. If it's easier to not go counter trend, but sometimes a failed break, which traps people long above 30 or gets some people out of position, is the better way to get into that short. So if we get back and bounce off, this is 29.20. If it bounces there, I'm out. If it just busts through on one wick, I probably wait for 29 even. But that is a scalp trade. It's either back to a support level or it's back to VWAP. In this particular case, I'm thinking back to some support. Something else just came out. What just happened to Uber?
I just want to, okay, so Neil will address that Uber trade in just a second, and Rivian he's got, out of Rivian. Oh, Rivian just came out, okay. So I just want to talk about that because you probably got, it was a long, right? So it stopped out.
Just trailed me.
Yeah, same thing is going to happen to me, so that's why I want to talk about it quickly. Tesla, look, Tesla's going to be a different story because it's $5.50 in the money. And honestly, I just tweeted it out. If you're following me, I mean, I'm putting out all the time. What's up, Tammy? I just saw Fibonacci Princess there just tweeted out something, I guess. I don't know if I was tagged in it. But we already have the bottom of the day, and I just talk about this right now. We posted when we got Phil. We're going to post when we get out. I just talked about it right here. Go follow me at TraderTV, Sean. There it is right now. Adjusting the stop on Tesla here, going to use the 50-period SMA. I don't expect everybody to watch us every day. You guys got work to do. You guys got stuff going. Follow us on Twitter, and you'll be able to see, hopefully, the ins and outs that I'm posting anyways. It won't be all the trades because we have too many of them. But today, we only have, really, 3 or 4 trading ideas. The very first one we had was a money-making idea. So let's just go like this. Let's spin it right now. That was a firm. A firm short was monstrous. It would be way more monstrous if we just followed our own damn plan there. So that's one idea. Alibaba, one short. Well, we took it multiple times, but one short, one area out. That's a winning trade. So that's a banger right there. Coinbase, this is the one that we've lost on today. Hey, it's me. We're talking about it. That's Coinbase. We went short there. We made money until we didn't, and we lost on that last piece. Oh well, we did have $3, $4 in the money, didn't take it. Coinbase upside, was not expecting that. Fine. GBTC, let's go. Let's make that money back.
Oh my God.
So we did that, man. As soon as we started seeing Coinbase and Bitcoin starting to rip up, we were short GBTC. Then we went long, then we went long, then we went short. A couple trades back and forth there on GBTC. So again, these are all just most of them very, very quick, easy ideas. NVIDIA today, the easiest of ideas. Long 500. Like, okay. Huge move, man. We took $12.50, would be $19 right now. The $19 still wouldn't be the largest trade I've had here, but would be a great one. $19 on NVIDIA on one trade. Hopefully you have that one. And then the last one that's a one trade wonder again is Tesla, just buying the absolute bottom of the day that we wrote down right here on the sticky note, buy 235. We got 235.50. And because it was so close, we're actually able to take a decent amount of shares. So now we're pretty happy with the way Tesla's looking for us right now as it's going back up to the upside. So TSLA starting to make it sing a little bit for us. So that's it, man. We just reviewed a bunch of our trades as it comes into 3:30. The only trade that I'm waiting for now is to get stopped out of Tesla breaking through.
Out.
Yeah, so that's going to be, not trailed out yet, but we will be able to get that if it breaks through 240.50. And then the last trade I was looking for, he's looking at my blotter, is a firm. But the thing is I don't know if this one's going to come through. A firm now breaking down off of 46. We do not have the reload, and you could see
it's not to be picky, but it's, in my understanding, a stop out is when you lose on a trade. A trail out is when you win. I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know. I've always.
But I think you could trail out a loser.
Can you? Okay, I guess you could.
It's like it's 50 cents against me if it goes 75. But yeah, you're right. The terminology.
Well, what the hell? Okay, anyways, remember when I said I'll look to get out in front of 29 if it bounces on SPR? Well, trust me, this is a 3-minute chart. Maybe this won't look as bad on a 1-minute chart. See there, on a 1-minute chart, this actually explains here, there was a bounce slightly off of 29, and now SPR is absolutely flushing. So looks like I got out too early, but hey, 30 to 29, and now it's at 28.70. Brendo, what up, bud?
United Airlines has also said they have found loose bolts on 737 MAX 9 plug doors as the inspection begins. So move down also in Boeing here.
Aga begins, Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. I mean, the thing is I tried to chase this all the way down. I knew we were going to Brendan there. I saw you just talked about Spirit.
It had to be that.
I saw the story. So kablaka right now as we go down to the downside. Now 50 cents in the money on a really bad position, actually. We don't have very many shares, obviously, here, but there goes Boeing, man. Let's see how far this one wants to drop down now. Okay, so, playing not good, now finding loose bolts, at some point, the FAA is going to be like, yo, guys, honestly, what exactly is going on here? And probably have to ground everything. So there it is right now. It is, loose bolts, sinks, dolts. It looks like this one is getting down into the downside as here we go, man. It is Boeing, and it is chow to the downside, which sucks because, of course, I own some Boeing. That's 226. Can we do it again? We'll try, man. It's 70 cents in the money. We're here for it. Let's see how far down Boeing can go. Again, watch out. It's a brand new developing story. United finds loose bolts on plug doors during 737 MAX 9 So max 9. So again, there's going to be different versions of planes. Yeah. I'm acting like I have some idea, which I do not. Max 9 inspections. So I have no idea if that is one of their heavier planes, like if that's a plane.
It was like only 170 grounded. I think it's like American and Alaska have the most of them. They don't even, like, if you fly in any Canadian airline, I don't think a single Canadian carrier has the Max 9.
Okay, that's what I was going to wonder, like how many fleet, like is this a large number?
I think the problem is, don't you just have a quality control issue here at some point?
Dude,
like, does it even matter?
I tried to short many more
SPR, I just tried to grab SPR through VWAP and missed it, but I might just take it back up through. Obviously, I was just in, like, I didn't know this story was going to drop. Let's be real. You don't know that story is going to drop. I just tried to grid it through VWAP. I might try to get a pull back into VWAP and get a 65 out. But the way I see it, that's not good for either. It's just not, it's not good. Even if it ends up being somewhat minor, it's just the reputational risk here. So I want to give this play back into VWAP. I want to get to Mara in a quick second, but we'll let this one resolve first. Mara is doing a weird barcode that I suspect is not going to hold forever. It's got a 20-cent range for the last 30 minutes. And if you've been following Mara, like, I just don't think Mara is going to have a 20-cent range for the rest of the day.
No, one thing is going to have a range right now. We said we were trying to be a little bit conservative there. Boeing just went down $1, and we're in this name. So here we go again, man. We are doing it again here live for you guys. We just punched into that short. It just bounced off 26. Stupid of me again, not being as prepared, right? We were just sort of looking at this, trying to figure out some different levels. It just got clocked down into 226. I'm just going to put a bid there again. And honestly, if this just keeps on crashing, fine. Bad term with Boeing, but I shouldn't say crashing. But the thing is, I'm talking about the stock. So
everyone knows you're talking about.
Yeah, okay, good. I just don't want people to. Anyways, you guys know. Let's just see what happens here. It is making a move back up. So there it is. I mean, we're short at 228.43. So down there at 226, this was $2 in the money. And stupid me for not taking it. That's about end of that discussion right now. I'm not happy with myself. Let's see if it comes back down. We'll see if we could take it. It's now $1.50, $2 in the money. The Dollar Club guy is here right now for you. And like I said, man, we choose peace over violence. But when we see this, we're going to get violent with it. Let's see if it gets back down to the downside as we've initiated a new position here on Boeing. I could get out right now, take the Dollar Trade Club. If you guys like it, take it. I'm just going to wait. I don't know why it flushed back, why it went back up to the upside after this flush. I'm going to sit here.
Algo move.
Probably. So Neil just said under his breath there, algo move. So let's wait to see if it does. There it is. I just need it to crack through 227, man. The spread is still large on this one. You see what just happened? It rejected 227, then the spread opened up 50 cents. So this one's bottom is 236.20. We are short right now, Boeing 228.50. It's another Dollar Club.
Yes, sir. That's what it's all about. You know what? I'll hit this one. I'm not going to hit that plane thing. That's kind of. I like the animation, but I think it's going a step too far. SPR. I just went back. I already had a level 2 up for SPR. It was a lot easier for me to jump or stay back in this name. It just got to VWAP, scalped once, 28.40 to 28.20, then back up at 28.50, back into 28.30. So back and forth a couple times. I think I stopped this out above 65, just above VWAP, and then see if we can't hold on to it. If it consolidates here and drops, I mean, if not 28 even, why not back at about 27.30? You only have 25 minutes or so left in the day. We just got the early look on the imbalances. It's 277 million to sell. But the news story, well, I guess it's not really a news story. The big story of the day to the downside has been this Boeing Spirit. It's a scary situation, but now they're finding more issues. And now it's kind of continuing to flush to the downside. So it looks like we're going gates of hell for you on these two individual names. FBI in the chat. I don't think I've seen. I would have remembered that name. Thank you guys for joining in. If you say thank you for SPR, we appreciate it. To be honest, I mean, I didn't make the assumption that the news was Boeing, but it was a pretty good bet. I think that's why Sean, before we even went to Brendan.
No, I literally, honestly, like, I know you have Benzing open as well. I just, like, right here, I just highlighted it. Like, whenever we throw to Brendan, we have other. Well, first of all, we have something in our ear, so Ramin or Fabian's going to tell us go to Brendan. And whenever I know that happens, I just kind of like go into here. And I saw this at 326. So it was a little bit late, I feel like, because if you look over here.
We'd already started falling.
And the algos, that's the thing. Like the algos will get this. Like that's 321. Like look at this on Boeing.
Yeah.
Like that move started right here, and the time going down there is 320. So it's like, despite how much we love, Benzinga Pro and everybody like that, it does. News is one of those things where you got to try to get it first, and it is tough to do that because the algos scan. Like imagine
they can execute off the.
Yeah, like they just write a program that basically says like, Boeing, issues, FAA, something like that, and then they'll short and then ask questions later. So a lot of the time you'll get some little, and we can have, I know Sharif's mentioned this before, we can have somebody from the algo team come by and talk a little bit about that. I think Sharif's saving that for the midday. So we'll do that at one point coming up, or I can get them on the midday show. The problem is nobody lasts after 4 o'clock around here. So I have to, try to convince them to stay back for the recap show, but the midday is perfect. So I think that we'll be able to get them on there for that. And look, I'm surprised, although Boeing's getting killed today because of other news, and it was kind of cruising. And remember we talked about 234 short. Well, that's really paid off now because of this news. So, Boeing still downside. We were $2 in the money. My bad, for sure. Should have had a bid down there into the low of the day. That's in the pre-market low. So let's just see if it goes back into there. And yes, okay, people like the algo talk, so perfect. I mean, Adara's there. She's hearing this. I know Sharif is thinking about that as well. So yeah, that is what it is. Stay tuned for more talk on algos. And Neil and I will talk about them casually every day. But
I promise you this much, because the topic on Learn to Trade this week, it is centered around level 2 tape reading. I didn't get into it today because we're talking some serious, just basics of like looking at the level 2 and the tape. But trust me, like I'm gonna pop in the midday, and one of the days is going to be specifically about how algos, how you can spot algorithmic trading and some little telltale signs on the tape on level 2. And I might have just got trapped in one. Like if you're looking for a bottom, you're gonna find them if you're looking for it. So 28 broke. It made this low here, and I got trailed out on SPR. Actually, I punched out. It wasn't even trailed. I punched out manually by a bid that I saw come in. But you're still absolutely flushing. I could still be in this, but I did take it out. It's about the reload. Again, it'll never be perfect. 13% to the downside. This is getting very, very ugly, and I'm not sure it's done. If I see it come back into 20, I might trade off the 28 level. I might not get a chance at VWAP in there again, but it is all about this flush. We haven't even, the only thing we were talking about for the first 30 minutes of the show was crypto. And I said I was about to talk about Mara, and then I'm right back in here to SPR. So if we get another pop, maybe the 28, VWAP could be a bit of a play. Maybe I'll talk about Mara right now just to tell you guys why I was looking at it. Essentially, it was barcoding like this for way too long. And I said, there's no way this is going to hold a 30-cent range. It probably breaks out of it. Okay, so it broke out of it. You could have taken this breakout trade and you'd be already, you're 20, 30 cents in the money, which is 1%. That said, would you be upset that it was more important to look at SPR in that moment and Boeing? I don't think so. Mara would have been a good trade breaking that consolidation. But you know what? SPR was a better move. So you have to prioritize, in this case, the one with the fresh flash news right now was SPR. There might still be a chance for me to get involved in Mara, however, now that things are calming down. If this can maybe hold 26.15 in here, look for a consolidation long back into the high of the day, double checking. Yeah, BTC is still above 47,000 nicely.
Man. So, it's too bad because Boeing looks like it's going to come right back up. Again, we chased this one. This was like the last fill that we got on this, and it's going to be back to flat. It just, again, bounced. Again, this is what I'm talking about, remember? It's like, it just bounced again off of 70. Like, I was sitting right here at 50. Okay, now we're back into this. I just want to play this off VWAP now. It's starting to go back up to the upside. So we'll wait, man. Maybe there's another story about it again. So we'll wait. But 229, maybe a break. I mean, VWAP is pretty. We're not in a lot of shares like this. I do not trade like massive amounts of shares when we get some news like this. 330.50 would be the stop for me. Because we're reloaded, why don't we take it out now if we can get $1, 227.80 on this. So I'm going to put 227.80, 22. We'll wait for that. So if this falls back in, we'll do that as we just got to reload up here again. So, all right, there we go. We too greedy a couple times. But again, on flash news, this is a completely different style of trading for me, as we've talked about this, right? Is that we have our sticky note, we have our levels that we actually look at in the pre-market. We judge catalysts. Well, there's no bigger catalyst right now than bolts falling out of planes. So again, we'll wait to see if there is anything to this. Looks like for now, Boeing kind of retracing. I mean, if this news hit around here, you're only down like $2, $3 from this news. Like this is nothing in my opinion. So maybe the story isn't as bad as we think as they investigate a little bit more. Remember, I still remember when basically Tesla was rocking. This is maybe 5+ years ago, maybe even more than that. And then some idiot lit his Tesla on fire only to show that Tesla batteries had a problem with it, and obviously the stock tanked. And I'm pretty sure the story is this idiot had puts or something on Tesla and wanted the stock to go down and was willing to light his $80,000 car on fire to make that much money. I'm not saying that some dude at UAL all of a sudden found random bolts, but you know, they have to confirm all this story, so possibly why it's going back up. So when I hear stuff like that, I just feel like we got to have an easy out, and that out would be right here at VWAP. So 230.50, if we break higher than it, I probably won't average into anything else. We're not giving back our day. We're not doing anything, but that is what we're doing on this one, giving it back to 230.50. If it goes up, great. We'll lose $1.50 because we stared $1.50 in the face. So let's get going on that one and figure out what's going.
Yeah, I actually just got back in a spirit myself. It didn't quite get to VWAP, but it came like a 27.50 back into 28.50. That's like $1 off the bottom. When, okay, granted, now the entirety of the move ends up being like $2.50, but since VWAP, it made the dollar down. I just looked for that reload in here on that curl. I think I looked a gift horse in the mouth here and should have just taken that 25 to 30 cent move because this is looking a little bit strong. So I'm going to stop out. Maybe above 50, not even give it to 65, tighten things up a little bit. It's now 341. That's the other thing to consider. We're day trading. So it's not as if, like, I'm not holding this short thinking SPR, looking at the daily, oh my goodness, look at this. It could be back down to the 200 period moving average or the 50 period moving average. That's great if you're swing trading, but when you're day trading, it's got 15 minutes to go. So if I think that this could end up being tight into this range, maybe not even retesting the low of the day, which is a possibility here, then I want it inside. I'm going to take it out in front of 28. It's been a good short this afternoon. Obviously, if I knew this was going to happen, I would have been reloading this short the entire time it was going sideways instead of just waiting for it to curl. But I'm getting out in front of 28 when we get this opportunity here in NVIDIA. Almost said NVIDIA. In SPR. NVIDIA is still, I mean, I know we haven't even talked about it in a while, but yeah, another high. NVIDIA $520 now $519.88 is now the high of the day. The NASDAQ's up 2.06%, and this is still flying. I don't want you to get the idea that just because Boeing and Spirit got their butts kicked just now on that news, that the market isn't still an absolute rocket ship and arrow up, which it has been for most of the day.
Look, again, we don't talk about share sizes here, but one thing I'll tell you is I'm up 10. NVIDIA is 10 times my next stock. Okay, so let's just leave it at that. And we only took $12.50 on it. Okay, so I'll leave that with you guys. Let's go over to the desk and do the IG ad read.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
Yes, thank you, IG. It just sucks that it's at 520 right now, and our best out is 512.50. Oh, man. All right. Well, the good thing is we held our Tesla all day. The only problem is this is only $6 in the money as we go bottom of the day to top of the day. And on NVIDIA, it's basically the same story again. We have the bottom there, which is 500. I mean, the bottom is when we opened up at 495. But that is the trade there. And I ain't shorting in front of 520, that's for sure. But we'll have to wait to see if it does hold out. And then we did pretty much go back into flat there, 228.90 actually, which right here, Boeing could pull back in a little bit. Just trying to give that. Spirit's dropping a little bit. Okay. Again, has nothing to do with anything other than that most recent story that hit basically at 3:30 about. It's just so silly to say it, but like, I don't know. I can read it again. United finds loose bolts on plug doors during 737 MAX.
You don't want things falling off a plane.
Inspections.
I mean,
Yeah, that just, to me, that seems a little.
Nothing. It's not nothing.
It's not nothing, which is why I'm short. But it does seem a little sketch to me on that one. But you know, I don't know. Anyways, yeah. Look. I mean, I just want to say congratulations to everybody today on NVIDIA, because I know, like I said, it's 10. Now again, my Tesla, okay, it's 10x my next trade after Tesla, because even if after I get out of Tesla, it'll be about 5x. My Tesla profit is going to be NVIDIA. So again, sans all of that talk, that's what it is. All right, songs.
You'll see, I'm now out again.
Come on, Boeing.
Very quickly, I'm out of SPR one more time. Like when it popped in there, the plan of action was ring the register if it got to 28, and it just bounced off that 28 level if we can quickly come to the chart. So I want to be nimble, be in and out. It was a VWAP play anyways. So when I saw that big bounce, just take it there off. I got 36s down into 28.05. So it's about, it's like a 30-cent move in here when we're risking. It was about 10 cents worth of risk to that local high. Expect a little bit of slippage. That's why I'll say about 10 cents, maybe even more than 15. We only got 15 minutes left in the day, and 5 minutes until the imbalances come through. And obviously, it's a 277 million sell on the market, which is nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a bigger sell than that, given how strong the market is up at these highs. Maybe you see some profit taking along those lines. I was mentioning Mara. I'm no longer doing that dip buy notion on Mara. Let's just get away from it. The real trade would have been when all that Spirit and Boeing stuff was happening to just take this little consolidation breakout for a little scalp trade to the upside. That's gone. That's come and gone. So we'll be happy with the day. It's a good start to the week. You know what? I feel like I've been really, really good about not running my mouth about the Bills. So now that I have no positions on and I don't see I'm probably not going to take any. I'm just going to say Josh Allen is Superman. Realistically, and this is the only time I'm going to rant about this. I'll wait till next week in the playoffs when we beat Pittsburgh. But you got the full Josh Allen experience. He had every single reason to be down in the gutter when he's fumbling the ball and throwing bad picks, and he still comes out like Superman. In trading, no matter how the trade before is gone, you've got to just make the next trade. That's what Josh did. He went out and made the next play. He's not afraid to throw the deep pass or run people over because that's what he does. And in trading, that's the same thing. Not going to lie to you, on Mara, it sucked shorting it this morning. It worked shorting it in the afternoon. Some breakout trades have been, was it Roblox a couple weeks ago? Roblox had a breakout that I lost on. I think that was like the most recent not good breakout trade, but it doesn't mean you don't take an NVIDIA. So you got to back up you just got to be ready. Like if you have a level set up, you got to be up there to grip it and rip it. If you see whatever formation and blah, 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 and you see the open receiver, you know where you're supposed to go with the ball, just throw that deep pass, even if you got picked off the time before, which is going to happen, especially a lot if you're Josh Allen. But he also wins a hell of a lot of ball games. That's my quarterback.
Yeah,
He'll win a game for you. This is my thing about.
Yeah, I like Josh Allen, but you know.
I'm gonna rip the Dak a little bit here. Dak is a good quarterback. He's not gonna win you games the same way Josh Allen can win you a game. I'm just saying. I love that kid.
No, I know you love Josh Allen. The thing is that we got to win in the playoffs. And that's what it's. I still feel like the Maple Leafs and all that kind of stuff. It's like the Blue Jays, all this crap. It's like these guys got to win. And I just hope that they win. I'm not sure if Packers are going to win, but we'll see if they can do that.
I'm cheering for you guys. I'm
pretty sure we will win, but it's 7 points, so we'll see what happens there as we have the Dallas Cowboys coming. Well, we have to go over there, which is a problem. All right, so only 2 minutes left, and then we already talked about these imbalances. I mean, is someone going to put in a bid imbalance for Boeing? I mean, let's just think about that for a minute.
That seems really weird.
I say no, but who knows? Still could come out. I mean, again, it's not. The thing that I have to realize about what we're doing right now is I look at charts on a 1 minute frame. Okay, so it's just like you know, what is bullish to some people or bearish to others. It's all about your time frame. And honestly, it's like, I don't know, this imbalance could come out and people could be the other way and be like, look, Boeing's all the way down here at the 50-period moving average. I wanted to buy 10 million shares of this stock, and I want to do it without affecting any of the levels. So that's how you get filled at the end of the day. You put in a market on close order for as many million shares as you want, and then when the fill comes through, that's your fill, right? And so that's what some people want. They just put the bid in for 2 million shares and wait for people to offset it. So shout out to Offset, by the way. So we're going to wait to see what happens on this imbalance, and here it is right here. So we don't have a Boeing. Oh, Boeing's a New York stock. What the hell am I doing? I could just look for it. So it's actually not in here right now.
It's not.
So it doesn't look like there's going to be too much open interest for Boeing, but we'll wait. Here, let's just get rid of this right now. So we're going to get rid of the broker side because we only have 30 seconds. So this will all populate, and then at that point, we'll find out. Fisker, see, like Fisker's a bid. You would say, oh, well, Fisker's down so much. There's a huge offer, which is probably fake. Following this thing down, you could see this barcode. Is someone really trying to buy 370,000 shares of Fisker? They can do that. Just punch it right here and get it all. So we'll wait to see what happens right now. That's fake, by the way. So we'll wait to see what happens with only 2 and 1 coming through. Who cares about Fisker? Let's just go over to, oops, that's a firm. Who cares about that also? So I've canceled my top bid on a firm. I've canceled everything. So it's JD, it's Apple with the sell. That could send the market reeling a little bit. Let me just try to zoom in just a little bit here on that. We'll go back to all these. So that's Apple with the sell. Let's see if it's doing anything. So a little bit of a down push. Uber with a bid. So a little bit of a green candle there. Robinhood, which I voted for as being better than SoFi, although I own SoFi, not Robinhood.
It was at that price on that day. It wasn't, yeah.
Oh, I don't even know if it's moved. Amazon right now with a bid as well. Look at that gap higher there on Amazon. So the number net is a good one from our friend Brendo. Yeah, it's 2.4 million. And then 2.4 billion, sorry, to buy. Here comes Boeing. So I have a bid on Boeing at nowhere.
It's okay, 200,000 to sell.
Got to figure this out. 228.50. Let's put a bid at 228 on Boeing. Just realized I don't have any bids because I canceled them. So 226.70 is my first bid. That's because of this. We need another one right around here, 228.
So overall, 2.4 billion on the buy side.
Looks
the
like
biggest imbalance is actually Go EV, but that's a penny stock. 26-cent stock there. And then for a split second, I saw, there's JD.com. 1.7 million on JD is pretty big for an imbalance. It's only done 10 million shares. It already made a spike into 26 even, and then reverse. So not a heck of a lot of interest. I might keep an eye on this, down 2.6%, but at the high of the day, because that is a pretty decent size imbalance for JD. Because how can you not? I can barely. Oh, my earpiece isn't working properly.
No, they turn it. We can't.
Oh, you turn it down? Okay.
I don't even hear it in mine.
NVIDIA 522. Rocket ship. 6.3%. It'll be 6.5 in a couple of seconds anyways. It continues to go higher. The NASDAQ is well over 2%. Apple can't seem to get that far away from 185. But remember, we're talking about Microsoft's strength. Microsoft just hit 375 and broke it. It's right back at the 96 level, but up 2% as well. It is super, super strong in these tech names. We did make a bit of a bounce here, We did make a huge bottom. It was a rough start to the year, but it has been absolutely fantastic today. I'm not taking any new positions on. The last thing we had, that SPR, it's back into VWAP. If this wasn't 352 and we had like 15 to 30, 20 to 30 minutes left, I think I would look for another reversal a third time off that. It's a bit of a W pattern. It was a bit trapped to get out at 28. Like each time I get out at 28, it goes to 27.75. But yeah, the Boeing news, not great. This is only down 10%, but it was a heck of a lot worse than this. Spirit actually bounced at the open, but it's an absolute, let's just say it, it's a bit of a dumpster fire on those two names. Here today. There's no other way to put it. But the rocket ship is all about NVIDIA. I will have my eyeballs on this name as well tomorrow. Well, I mean, I'll have looking at NVIDIA. But ARM up 8%, no slouch whatsoever. Superstar. I had one trade on ARM, but I'm loving what this stock just did, bouncing off that 65, 66. So back above 70. All the reason in the world it could be making another run, if not at just 75, but at that 78 all-time high. I mean, it's a recent IPO, so all-time high isn't really saying much. What's up?
Someone just said Tilray's after the bell. Did I miss that? Because
They're this week. I didn't know it was today, but they're this
earnings
week.
calendar here. Let's go on this. Okay.
No.
No. Okay. Someone said Tilray after the bell there. Tomorrow morning, I guess. Yeah. So here, we'll look at this together, guys. All right. So guidance. Okay. So guidance already this morning. I was like, Lululemon. Okay. No. So right now, these are all preliminary from this morning. So it doesn't look like we get too many big trades coming through. And it's tomorrow is what we're looking at here. And it's all sorted by market cap. So ACI, good. Albertsons. We've talked about that a couple times here on the show. And there it is right there. So thanks, Brendo. And those of you in the chat that mentioned it, it's Tilray. It's tomorrow. I'm not sure. I mean, puff pass. That's for sure. You always want to share, but at the end of the day, Tilray hasn't been sharing any earnings with anybody lately. It's just been going straight to the downside. So it's had a nice move. I just don't know off earnings where we're going to go on Tilray. See what I mean? It's had a nice move, but it's kind of just, I don't know, man. If that goes to 420, a double from here, that'd be pretty sweet. We'll see if that does happen. But again, pending, we know they're not, I don't know, I was going to say, I don't know if it's this name or CGC, it's probably Tilray that was close to be turning profit. But to me, it's just a story of you're waiting for legislation. And I mean, when that gets passed, then all these names should, blow up to the upside there. But we'll watch out for Tilray. I'm not super excited about it. We'll see. If you are going to trade anything, though, the more and more I look at some of these names, I feel like, you can light a lot of things on fire, but I wouldn't light your paper on fire with the ETF. I think this is the one chance to get something really going. It doesn't look like I got to get over to the desk. Looks like Boeing might just be a 60-cent hit here as, I don't know, man. I really want to wait for it, but it's not taking down 230. It's also not going down. So we're kind of just stuck in purgatory here as we wait for Boeing to give us an idea. So, yeah, let's sit here for a couple more minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
And see if Boeing actually does something.
What's crazy is I scoffed at GoEV. I'm like, oh, whatever. There's a penny stock. There's no trade on that sell imbalance. It came out as a big sell imbalance. It's actually since then grown to 18 million to sell, and you absolutely could have traded it. Like, this is when the imbalance comes out at 350, and then it broke down 26 even, and then right into 25s, 25.4 as a matter of fact. So there was a short in here when the imbalance came out. Now, obviously, it's going to do 200 million shares, so 17 million share imbalance isn't that bad, but it's a penny stock. So it would take nothing notionally to pair that off, right? Well, okay, fine. Not nothing, but a small amount relative to a large trading account to be able to pair that off. That said, sometimes you get a little something out of those moves. We talked about how strong this market is and closing on those highs. If you didn't find a single long on a chip name today, all I'll say is the way I look at it, I probably flipped from one to the other, maybe too much. Like, I flipped from going long NVIDIA, and after I got out of NVIDIA, looking for the long in ARM on the consolidation, and then got out of that too early and probably should have waited for a better entry on a long there. And I also went over to Intel for a long trade. So I kind of flipped into a couple of names away, and neither one of them did I hold to the high today. Just I didn't have the expectation that we were going to be this strong, but you cannot complain today. As long as you were long the chips, you're absolutely fine. Main event, Stroud is not better than Allen, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think CJ Stroud is going to be, I'm not saying he's going to the Hall of Fame, but you don't play that well if you don't have some serious games. So, I mean, I think Houston absolutely found a dog. And the crazy thing about it, you have a lot of people that are eating a lot of crow because there was a bunch of tape to be able to watch CJ Stroud play in college, and you knew he was a stud based on watching him actually play games, and they turned him down for some nonsense on some test that they think means that he's not smart enough to be a quarterback, and all he's done is bald. So at the end of the day, what matters is how you perform. It's the same thing in trading. At the end of the day, are you going to judge the trades based on, okay, well, there's an entry, there's an exit, or are you going to base it on some utter nonsense about, okay, well, am I using the right indicator? Oh, no, this guy uses VWAP. He doesn't know what's going on. Nah, you just worry about the entries and the exits and all that good stuff. They're beasts. I'm not worried about them if we happen to play them in the playoffs. I don't think the Bills are going to. And someone did ask this, and I said it in the chat. I'm a hater on the Cowboys because they beat my team is the Buffalo Bills. They beat the Bills back-to-back in the Super Bowl. Beat them twice. So it's from a place of respect. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to hate on them. So I'm just going to get that out of the way. Apple looks like it wants to close at high of the day because why not? Everything is closing at the high of the day with the exception of Boeing, Spirit, and probably Fisker. Just because I know Fisker's bad, so I'm just going to throw that one out there. We got less than 1 minute to go. Do remember, you're not going anywhere. We're going to have the market recap. And the best thing about it is we didn't even think we'd have too many earnings to talk about. We got some weed to discuss. You've got trades to review. We're going to have an awesome week, but it starts off with a great trading day on Monday and what will be a great market recap, as always, with Sean at the desk. I do see a lot of people throwing some names out there in the chat. If we did miss out on looking at some small cap names today, it happens, but come on. What are you going to do? The chips were absolutely flying. There's no way you weren't going to trade several of them today. There's no way you weren't going to be looking at Mara and Coinbase. There's no way you weren't going to be looking at Boeing and Spirit. It was just that kind of a day, and you've got to trade what moves. Plenty of it today. We're looking for a heck of a lot more tomorrow. But before we get to that, get the camera off me and get it on over to Adara. I'm wearing red, and she's got a little red on too, but it is a green day today, and ring it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and you know what to do. Thank you so much, Adara. And officially 2.07%. We're going to close. I want to get the close on NVIDIA as well. 522.50 is what I just saw. I don't know if that was the actual print. It doesn't matter. Above $522.06.5% on NVIDIA here today, which is an absolute rocket ship. Rocket ship, it's where the day started. We also went on to crypto, which for anyone checking in here, we did have a strong close. I mean, you're closing at the highs on Bitcoin as well. I'll pull up let me pull up a 5-minute chart so you get a better idea. Right in here at that 47,000, just a smidge beneath it. So you had crypto rallying, you had the NASDAQ rallying, you had the S&P kind of lagging behind a little bit. Lots to get to in the aftermarket show, but I want to start by giving a big shout out, as always, to Fabian Ramin, doing a great job making us look and sound good on the ones and twos. Merry Christmas, of course, Orthodox Christmas to Sharif. We had Obi filling in for him on the midday, teaching you about level 2 and time and sales, reading that tape like every trader has to do. And of course, Adara as well, doing a fantastic job on her trading journey and learning some of that. I'll come on every single day on the midday as well, a little bit at noon. Shout out to Brendan giving us that news in the afternoon when it came to Boeing and the update from the UAL. And want to thank our guest this morning, of course. We had Michael Noss. And now, you know who I am, and you know where you're. Oh, I'm still, okay, fine. I'm not going to end it off just yet. Oh, we're good? Okay. We're going to go to the desk. You know where you're headed. It's the market recap show. I wonder what will be talked about. I think we all have a pretty good idea. Let's get to the desk with Sean.
What's up, traders, and thank you for joining in this crazy day. That was another major move for the NASDAQ mid, led by the one and the only NVIDIA. Thank you so much for checking out our market recap show, as we are brought to you by Benzinga Pro. I'll be checking out, Benzinga here for any news that drops down. I see Bark just reported. That was a name that I was in a long time ago. But yeah, good movements here. Here we go. We'll run this down. We do have earnings basically starting tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we have Tilray coming through as well. But look at today. It's the SMH, baby. Let's bang. Put some bangs up on that one. We get a huge move up 3.5%. That's monstrous for any kind of an ETF, let alone SMH. But again, the reason why, look at this beast today. It's NVIDIA and it's Sticky Note Nation. Stand up, man. That's what we're all about right now, Sticky Note, because, hey, we had this one early and often on NVIDIA. Now, we didn't have it often. We only had it early. Here it is on my trading standpoint. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'm going to get the roll call going in just a minute. There it is right there. Through 500, we knew that there was going to be a story today on NVIDIA. And what exactly is that story? Well, it's pretty clear. Let me just get it for you right now from our watch list coming through again. You know what? I don't want to They say dox yourself if I put up my email, but it doesn't really matter. You guys can all probably figure out what it is right here. But there it is right now. The story came early, and look when we wrote it down. Make sure you go get it. Watch us on tradertv.live. We had it in the morning, man. NVIDIA was only up less than 1%, and there it is right there. H20 artificial intelligence chip for who else but China. So there it goes, man. We're shipping them over to China now. They will get that figured out in the second quarter of 2024. And boom goes the dynamite on Boeing, straight up to, or on Boeing. Another story, straight up to the upside. Man, we got out at 512, but guess what? The calculations are going through my head right now. How much could have we made? How much could have we made? Who cares? NVIDIA, nice upside move. We made a lot of money on that one, and we're pretty happy with the result on that. And again, it's not about making or losing. It's about having confidence to put the trade on, and we did that with NVIDIA today, breaking through. And again, that's where that level looks like, right through 500. Now, why is this not loading right now? So this little ETF watch list, how do I redo this right now? That's going to be a problem if I don't have it. Let's go over to the Qs quickly, just talk about that, as I will maybe reload this watch list and get it going. Michael Noss made this all up for me, so I'm going to have to go find out where I just put that right now. But it's the Qs with the upside move. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to load that back in for all of you as we get the ETF watch list back through. So I'm going to actually, guys, log out of Trade Ideas and back in, so just bear with me 1 second. We do have Michael coming on today. That should be a good one to talk all about what the market has done exactly. Let me just quickly look at the triple Qs as we'll wait for Trade Ideas to load back up. Let me just give us 1 quick second here. So here it is on the daily. Up, again, there it is, it's loading upside. Monster move, man. We break through 400 on the Qs. That's not really a level that I look at, but look, all day we kind of just kept on marching all the way back up to the upside, and there we go. We got it all loaded up again here now. As that went blank for me for a second. SMH UNG with the nice move up. Brendan talked about the XLK on our podcast. Make sure you find that podcast. Go find it now. We talked about all of these. What a great day. XLK, the IBB as well. The biotech, that's the one that I like. I like XLV. I like XLK. Nice move upside there today. But look at USO as this continues to get beat up, right? The names that I like in here, XOM. Take advantage of these moves. Look at the daily chart here. That's a great one, but look even better at this, the weekly chart on XOM. You're just down to so many levels, man. This goes all the way back to October of 22, this $100 level. It's looking pretty good for XOM. Another one that I like, CVX. Again, you know, getting hit back down to some of these levels. I would say pick some up if you like it. There's a lot of traders out there that like the reversion trade, right? So to me, what about FXI? A name that's definitely not working. This is large cap China. Let's see if this can get sorted out. With oil prices coming down, that should be good for China, right? There's a lot of production happening over there. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these Chinese manufacturing companies report higher margins, but are they selling enough? That's the question. American Express near highs, Visa near highs. We know the consumer is strong. What are they buying? What about Temu, right? We had PDD moving on that. Look at PDD, Pinduoduo. Again, what's working in China? Let's look at retail. Come over to this. Look at the weekly chart for PDD. This actually looks like it's about to break out. What about a 150 break on PDD? Look at the other side of this. Look at Alibaba, though. PDD is up here, guys. Alibaba getting absolutely destroyed. So I feel like we got to look for some strength in some of these names. And when they come through, let's find it. Alibaba, I still think it needs to break 80, but you're getting down to a spot where you may want to pick up some Alibaba on that side of things. Okay, XHB, the housing index, kaboom on that one. Bang that as that continues to go higher and higher as well. That is the housing sector making moves. Nothing really hitting in the aftermarket again. We will keep on double checking with Benzinga. If any sort of a story hits on here, we will watch out for that. A big story today as we talk about some of our trades. NVIDIA and Tesla. I don't know what got into Tesla there at the end of the day, but something definitely did. Let's just look at it from a 3 or 4 minute time frame there. Nice move off the bottom. And look at this base, 236. We will talk about some sticky note trades, but we had this right off the open. And why did we like it? Let's just zoom back out a little bit. Let's go to a 30-minute chart. See down here, this is 235. We wicked down there to 236.30. We actually hit some 235 low there. So we opened up today in and around this area. This is actually the trade that we liked. It didn't have much of a catalyst. It's only up 1.29%. It's actually up less than the market today. That is Tesla. But look at the trade that we had. Again, it's a sticky note name. We had it on there. Hit the sticky note button. Actually, I'll do it right there. We had this dip buy right away early. The problem is, look where this trade hit at, 9:30, right at the open. For me, that's a little bit of a problem because we've seen Tesla drop $3, $4, $5. We're about to have Michael Noss on here. He looks at what? Opening prints and closing prints. We'll talk to him about that one. That's a good long. And if I Michael Nossed this trade, which I pretty much did, I got out. That's a new one. Michael Nossed it. That's getting in at the open and getting out at the close. Well, that was pay dirt right there. So that's a good trade right there. As we had that all the way from the top, or from the bottom to the top. Good trade there, taking about $5 and finally getting stopped out there at the end. A crazy name today was Boeing. And again, we'll go back over on our watch list this morning. We talked about Boeing. U.S. regulators temporarily grounding 171 MAX 9 jetliners for safety inspection after Alaska Airlines prompted this issue, okay? The problem was, late in the day there, we got another report that some bolts were loose in some of the doors on these planes, found out by UAL. So now we have a problem with the Alaskan flight, now a problem with the Boeing, the door there. You don't want to be on a flight when you hear that rattling, do you? So right now, we got to worry about Boeing as it's down another 8% getting hit. But look at Boeing over on the daily. I got to go back to TI now. Where is it? Here it is right here. So here's Boeing. See what happened? Again, how do I... where's Michael Noss? He's watching right now. I've minimized this, and when I maximize it, there we go. Okay, so it's minimize, maximize. So, all right, good. Solved. Michael, no problem. Right there, we're back. So again, look at Boeing on the drop back in right here. Let's check out what it looks like on the daily. You know what? Michael, if you're listening, I apologize giving you a name. Let's talk about Boeing real quick because it's hitting right now the 50-period moving average on the daily. That's interesting to me. Why? Because it goes all the way back to where we were back in June. Some of these June tops have been key for many reasons. NASDAQ, June top, taken out, right? Boeing, watch out for that, falling right back into it. Do we have something to worry about? I say yes. You do not want to catch falling knives when stories have yet to be finished, right? Boeing and the FAA, we've seen a big time movement on Boeing happen before, all the way down into $100. That's the COVID bottom when everybody was not allowed to travel. People were scared about what the future of travel looks like. Then all of a sudden, people say, no worries, and we almost get back up to some of those COVID levels before this news hits. Now it's Boeing to the downside. Where are buy zones for this? I say regardless of what you're looking at, I think you got to nibble something around $200, but let's let that story sort of take its course, per se. Oil, a story to the downside. Michael and I have gone back and forth about XLE. He and I talked about it. I did sell some up here in the 90s. We did think there was a chance for it to continue forward. Oil, to me, is one of the biggest stories out right now because I feel like there's going to be a big move happening at some point. I just don't know when. Like all these oil tankers not being able to go through. Big oil shipping container company, Maersk, not putting anything through the Red Sea. A deal with Houthi today. Forget which company it was, but again, very, very risky shipping things right now. Oil, a problem. If shipping's going to be a problem, obviously those big oil tankers got to get through. I thought that would spike oil, but it is not, as those continue to be problems coming through. All right, the other big trade today, we talked about it. It's NVIDIA. They're sending the chips to China, and whenever you get that going, that is a banger news story, man. Anything to do with China, whether or not it's, oh, we can't ship iPhones anymore. Fake story. But if that happens, China downside, right? You got to worry about this huge economy. NVIDIA now entering it in as we had some talk with Joe Biden, I think appropriately, on risks associated with sending all the technology that has been built here, right, by U.S., or not built here, I mean, some of it's built in China, built here under NVIDIA's wing, which is a US company, AMD, which is a US company. Now all of a sudden we're sending the technology over to China. I'm concerned a little bit about that, but as a shareholder, we celebrate it as we go back up to the upside. Let's check out the IWM. Now, if I talk to the IWM with Michael Noss, I know he's going to talk about it being undervalued as opposed to the RSP, the equal-weighted S&P 500. And by the way, if you have the Hydration Nation, I've been talking way too damn much. Let's go. By the way, we're streaming live on X, baby. What's up, Elon? You now have the best possible recap show streaming live on your network, Mr. Musk. Here it is right here. We're streaming live. I want to thank all the, how can I see how many people are, so there's 3 views right now. How do I know how many people are actually watching this right now? Shout out to the 3 of you. I have no idea, but shout out to those of you that are on Twitter, man, as Twitter goes boom for us. And I'm just happy to be on it. TLT going the other way right now. We have over, hey, traders stay late. And right now, actually, I don't even have the right thing open. I'm going to find out how many people are with me right now. We have over 2,500 people watching. Thank you so much. But share, like, and subscribe so we can get this going. Hey, you know what? I'm in a good mood today because today was a good day. We had a lot of good trades on for you guys today, and a lot of them were one-hit wonders, which makes me the most happy because I understand it's hard to follow the trades, but when we're giving you NVIDIA long 5 bills and Tesla long 236, it's hard to complain about that one. Let's do a quick little one before we call the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Noss. It's going to be a quick little roll call right now because I'm in a good mood. What's up to Juan Padilla? What's up to Daniel here? Oh, Daniel, what's up, Daniel? Daniel's back in the building. What's up, Daniel? Come by, man, anytime. Good friend of mine, Daniel, there in the chat. Zion's here as well. Mike Pena's here. Andrew's here. Hey, look, we don't get paid anything extra for doing this. We're doing this for you, and traders stay late. So I say salute to all of you that are here. And I'm about to have one of the best traders come on with me very, very soon. It's going to be Michael Noss. I can see he's in his red and black lumberjack. I was in that on the... he's in the white and black lumberjack. Where's the podcast button? Because show that. I want to show everybody the there it is. What's up, Michael? Me and you twinning right there. Let's go. Ryan's here. Everybody's ready. Good to go on that one. But hey, we're having a great show. But you know what we didn't talk about? Too many red things today. It's OIH, it's USO, it's gold. The thing about gold is, and we've highlighted this with all of our guests that have come on here, even JC was talking about gold, and he likes a NASDAQ. But you can see it's been a nice move to the top side. Gold pulling back a little bit as rates are going to become in focus. We talked about TLT a little bit, but definitely gold pulling back into the 50-period moving average. If you believe in diversification, it might be time to pick up some gold. All right, you guys tell me when Mr. Noss is ready, and I will bring him on. Ramin, Fabian, are we ready for Trader Talk? Then let's go. It's Trader Talk, baby. That's right. I like that. Now, Mr. Noss, Ramin goes, she's born ready, as I know you are as well. How was your weekend, my friend?
Weekend was great. It's actually been like 3 weeks, I think, since we've chatted because we had all those holidays. So how was your holidays? I hope you had a great time with your family and all that.
Yes, welcome back to the big show now. And yeah, you know what, man? We had a fantastic day here, a fantastic holiday. As we're still on Michael Noss, let's go back to the conversation. Nope, not yet. There it is. Hey, my guy. We didn't have too much bad weather, which was really, really nice. We actually had our first snowfall over the weekend, believe it or not. So that's been pretty good for us so far. And I know you have a not brand new, but as your family continues to grow, it's the holiday season that is the most special, man. Take as many videos and pictures as you can. But if I know you properly, you were studying a lot of charts.
Absolutely, as always. I actually have up here Boeing because you were talking about in the green room about that. I know I'm not going to steal Brian Shannon's thunder on this one, but not only did Boeing stop at the 50-day moving average, which you were talking about, but it stopped right at this anchored VWAP from this swing low right here. So this was a major swing low in Boeing. I think this was the end of the last, things blowing up news that happened, and it came almost right to the tick there and held that. So I think if you're trying to get long Boeing, I totally agree with what you said for waiting for a little bit of news to pass, waiting for a little bit of action to subside. But I think this could be a good line in the sand. If we consolidate here for a few days and start to push higher, and we're still holding that anchored VWAP, that's great. Now, I drew another anchored VWAP in case that one breaks, and that's around your $200 mark, which you were talking about earlier. So if we zoom out, it comes right here at the October 2022 lows, which was the start of the bull market we're in. So if you want to be aggressive, I would say you wait a couple days for everything to die out. And if we're still holding that, call it 225 anchored VWAP, I think you've got a pretty good place to play against and at least to know when you're wrong.
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem stealing anything from Mr. Brian Shannon. I mean, hey, man, that's a great technical spot there. And I actually just added it to my charts. I'm going to give you a plug right here with Trade Ideas. Anchor VWAP is just so easy to do on this. You mentioned it, so I just go like this, put it down here, and that's exactly that level. I've actually noticed, and again, obviously it depends on where you anchor them, but there has been a lot of confluence with 50-period moving averages a lot on some of these VWAPs as well. So anyways, it just happens to work out right there. What about Bitcoin? I mean, we don't have too many. I know you guys on Trade Ideas don't really scale the actual Bitcoin on here, but I know you're a big bull as far as some of the technicals look. And again, we haven't been together for a couple weeks. We've been talking about Bitcoin. I know we've had Adrian Zadunchuk, again, another friend of yours. They're the crypto burb. That guy's been nailing that as well. I know a lot of you have been pretty bullish. I'm not sure if you have any charts for Bitcoin that we could possibly talk about, but what a great run has happened today. For me, getting a little toppy on potentially selling some news on this. Is there anything that you have up that we could maybe discuss Bitcoin with?
I have Mara up here. We may want to take another shot of Mara. I feel like I'm going back to the well too often. It's a bit superstitious here, but you know, I had Mara at 10. I got out the last bit of mine around 25. Like I certainly can't argue on that for a trade. It is consolidating here. It's holding above these recent highs at 20. If Bitcoin gets going, then I think that's interesting. However, as someone who is a technical analyst, so I study past price patterns, when it comes to Bitcoin, the first major high we had, I remember, was the launch of CME futures.
Right.
And the one second major high was the launch of Coinbase. So Bitcoin has this history of buy the rumor, sell the news. So for one, I don't think I'm going to get involved here until well after the ETF announcement is out,
right?
Because I am worried about like this massive rug pull that could happen that we've seen before in this space a few times.
I actually was just in the process, Michael, of pulling this up here on Benzinga because I was just there and it screwed it up. Almost back. Hold on a second. I want to go over to maybe a weekly chart to show you guys exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, here it is right here. We stopped today. Maybe weekly is too long. Let's go to a daily and see if we can find it. There it is right there, Michael. This 48,000, kind of a marker that goes all the way back to April of 2022. So I'm kind of with you, man. I feel like we're running into a little bit of resistance up here as we continue to sort of expand out on BTC. So I really love your Mara trade. And honestly, for everybody watching, you nailed that. I 100% will vouch for your trade. You were talking about it at $12 or $13, and you talked about why it would be interesting with the short float and other potential things like that. So thank you for covering that for us all here one more time. Okay, with that being said, we talked a little bit about Boeing, you talked a little bit about Bitcoin. So those were two of my ideas that I wanted to get off my chest and discuss with you. Is there anything that's sort of looking attractive as we head into the new year? We've already talked about sort of that sad week that was last week, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, as you've highlighted on the show. So let's find some names that maybe we can get long. I see you're talking energy space.
Yeah, I love the energy play right now. So if you missed it, you can go back and check. But I was on this morning, and I kind of gave a synopsis about why, based off the election year, based off what we're seeing in the market, why we could be in for a rough couple months of the year.
Yep.
But ultimately, during this presidential cycle and what we're seeing, this massive bull market is generally going to resolve higher. Doesn't mean we have to, but generally is going to resolve higher. So what I want to do is, if I understand that the first couple months are going to be choppy, I want to play the chop. So what I did in actually preparation for this, I went to one of my favorite scans and actually a product that we've built in conjunction with Brian Shannon, just to talk about him like we were earlier, where not only does the product find stocks that are pulling into major VWAP, but it draws it for you. Sean showed you how easy it is to draw on the product, but this, just by clicking on the chart, will actually draw it completely for you. So a couple of them that came up, one that I was talking about this morning with oil, this VLO, if you take the major anchored VWAP from this low right here, in VLO, which is obviously an energy company, petroleum refinery, that caused this bounce. We're back to it, and today we bled under that anchored VWAP and had a monster rally higher. We were down earlier on the news that was being talked about on the show here, but we ended up close almost positive or a little bit higher. So VLO, I'm interested in this. There's a couple names like this, like NOG, for example, was one that I was watching with the same type of pattern, where we have another oil miner. And if we zoom out, and I'll just show you how to draw this yourself, on the system, you can see we came right back into that anchored VWAP now 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and we bounced that. And this one I'm interested as well. I would be amiss without giving you one more, which is a sector you guys know I'm absolutely obsessed with, which is uranium. This was, other than Mara, my best kind of play in 2023. And again, I'm going to go back to the well. You can see the anchored VWAP from this pullback we had in October. I think everyone remembers the big October pullback that we had in the markets. If you anchor the VWAP from that low, then you can see it also lines up with this kind of $41.50 area, or $41.50 area. And we're getting some support here as well. So again, if the market's going to be choppy, I think you're a buy the dip, sell the rip type environment where you want to look for pullbacks. You want to try to time those pullbacks the best you can. Then you don't want to get greedy with it. You want to make sure if your stock is hitting resistance, you're at least selling some, if not all, and then moving on. When we break out and we clear these all-time highs, then I'll be interested in going forward a little bit more and buying breakouts.
Did you find, because we're talking a little bit about the anchored VWAP there, maybe we can discuss like why sometimes we'll put it back to like those June lows, and why you choose here on Cameco to put it to those September lows. Like why did we not base it back down to those lows, as I'm looking at your chart right here, sort of like the new year of January 1st there, when we sort of made the bottom. Maybe we can go over to your chart. Yeah, like right down into there. Yeah.
Way down here.
Yeah, like I sometimes I find that it's tricky, and I ask the same question with Brian all the time, and it's just like, what is that? And you know what he talks to me about? It's your time frame. If you're looking for swing trades or something like that, then maybe put it a little closer to the most recent support. And if you're looking for a longer breakout, does that make sense? Am I actually learning from smart people here?
Well, that's exactly it. So your time frame is important.
Okay.
If CCJ gets down to that anchored VWAP from that low, I think that's interesting. The thing that really got me when and again, I've known Brian for a long time. I have both of his books signed. We've been out at bars together, so I know him very well. I know he's a really good trader. What really got me every time he talked about anchored VWAP was it's this area in which institutions fill orders.
Right.
So what you're trying to do is you're trying to find the spot that an institution would anchor it from. So he always says you take a major swing low. He always says, when's the last time that buyers took control? So when I'm looking at CCJ, we had this monster 3 or 4 day sell off from 40 all the way down to 35. And then it rallied. So for me,
okay.
this is the last area that buyers really stepped in and took control. So for me, that's where I'm going to anchor my VWAP. But if I'm looking for a longer term trade, if it comes back down to this one, I don't think that's a bad move either.
Right. So I guess we're always on the same page here with all of this. It's find a sector that you believe will work. Find some potential names in the sector. Even look at URA. That was another one for the ETF that you've brought in us many, many times. Okay, look, if I keep you too much longer, then I'm going to have wife problems, and we both know that we don't want any of that. So, hey, it's Michael Noss. They can go find you at Michael Noss CMT, I believe, on Instagram as well. Is it the same handle?
Twitter, Instagram, Substack, YouTube. I'm out there.
Okay, Playboy, I know you got a lot of spots right there, but that's Michael Noss. And I want to thank you again for coming back to the big show. It's Trader Talk. It's Michael Noss. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Ciao. That's Trader Talk. Told you, guys, that guy's legit over and over and over again. I want to thank Michael Noss again for coming on our big show earlier on today, but now on the good one, the big guy here at the close. So thank you, Michael Noss, for coming through one more time. A big friend, and you guys can all find more information on trade ideas in the link in the description and all of that. I really, really like that program. Okay, it's sticky note recap time, so let's just do that real quick. I always run out of time. I'm almost feeling like we got to put this a different spot. I pin the sticky note every single day. We pin the sticky note. So if you want to go find it, I want to thank everybody. Only 6,000 views. Okay, I don't want to thank you that much. Should be over 10,000, I feel like. But what was on air today? Let's just have a quick little look. All right, NVIDIA 500. All right, why did we like it? Chips. We've already talked about that. So let's just go review. We've got NVIDIA 500. Let's do this real damn quick. All right, so what do we have on NVIDIA today? We have NVIDIA 5 bills. And yes, we do. We got it. Bang, 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 bang. Right now, that's the biggest trade. It's the biggest trade on the floor. It's the biggest trade today. It's NVIDIA. It's the #1 stock. I was up 10x on this stock. 7x on this stock, any other name. It is it is a trade list. It is a big one. It is NVIDIA. It's a banger. Next name on the list. Let's go. This is going to be rapid fire, boys and girls. We've got Palantir. We liked it, man. ARK in there buying on Friday. We knew that they were going to buy at some point, but where? Where were you going to buy, ARK? Apparently, they're buying all day today as well. Palantir long 1580. Why did we like it? Well, because it was down into this area. We thought if Palantir dipped into something around here, we have that bottom of 15. Let's look out for 1580. This is why we charted it. 1580 right into that level. But unfortunately today it takes off and we didn't get it. But Palantir was a great long. We don't have any ticks on it today. It opened up at 16. I thought we could fall into here, sort of afternoon lows on Palantir. We knew we had a new program with Palantir. They started selling more commercial deals. We like that. It's Palantir. Bang on that one. We love you, Palantir, a long time, and we'll be getting longer on that. How about Tesla 235? Uh-oh. This is going to be a good one if you want to look at this. It's Tesla. Why did we like Tesla long 235? Well, there's the long right there, and there's the out. This is a $5 winner for Tesla. And why did we like this one? It doesn't get any easier than this for me. Darn it, we got to zoom back out. And again, part of it is my live account. This is a live account, by the way. It's just when we switch from sitting at one desk to the other, sometimes these wicks, they come back in. So look at this though. Here's 235. Why did we like it? It's been the bottom over the last couple of days. So we had 235 in there. We liked it. It ripped up the rest of the day. That's a banger trade for us on Tesla. The last one, it's a firm. And let's just talk about why we liked it. If you're saying I'm going over this too fast, you're probably right. I'm talking super fast right now because I'm trying to get this in. But Tesla, go over here. Not only do I talk about it, I also put it on the sticky note. We also do a little bit of a recap of why we like it. It's the 50-period moving average, okay? Affirm, $46. I'm going to keep on picking on Affirm. Why? I don't believe in the business. That's the first reason why. The second reason is it's at a key level near $50. Third reason is high short float. Affirm to the downside. I still believe in this. One of my best trades from last week was playing the short. We'll play the pop on it today. That's what we waited to do. So here it is on Affirm. Well, guess what? Short early. I just got fed up. I'm like, it's not getting to 46. Short. But guess what, guys? It went to 46. That's the sticky note level. We didn't sit there. The high of the day on Affirm is 45.98. The sticky note says 46. So that should have been the best trade. Well, it wouldn't have been the best trade, but it should have been a big one back on. It does retrace all the way to 200 period. That's a bang up trade. I want to thank everybody for watching again here today, but you think I'm done? I'm not done. One more. I know Ramin's got to go. So let's hurry up, man. Let's get this going. Sean's tweets. All right. Good tweet here. Thank you, Ramin, for doing this. Let's go into the downside. All right. Talk about this tomorrow. Most crowded trades as of December. Long Mag 7. Generally speaking, crowded trades are reversion trades. You may want to go the other way. Long Mag 7, crowded trade. Short China equities. I already talked about that. Could possibly reverse back up to the upside. Long Japan equities. Okay. I don't know, short. And there's not too many Japanese names I'd short. Nintendo, maybe off of a big holiday season could be in there. Short REITs, short 30-year treasury. So again, go long the treasury. I don't know. I'm pretty bullish in the market. I don't know if I'd be long Treasury. Those are some tweets. I had another one here that I want to talk about as well. Bitcoin makes history. We just talked about it. Finally on the weekly, it's a golden cross, baby. It's Bitcoin, and it's a banger to the upside as well. Okay, last but not least, one more time, it's roll call because we missed this last week. Let's just quickly do it. I want a big shout out to Bears versus Bulls. Super chat time. Dirt Poor. Well, you got a little poor with the super chat, and I thank you. Oh, man. See, we should be clipping that, Ramin. That was good, okay? I mean, only one person on the show is going to say that. T. Blanche, what's up? Michelle, Willis, Evan, Laura, Nicole, LG Day, Abel, Ahmed, You Don't Say, and Hanan. Thank you so much for everything. But here it is. It's roll call. I'm not going to forget everybody who's here. Quickly, man, quickly. I got 20 seconds. She's counting down in my ear. TH, Thomas, what's up? I don't have anything in my ear. Michael Lloyd, Igor's here. Andrew's here. Paulie D says, Hydration Nation. I wouldn't be here without everybody. I want to thank everybody for watching one more time. Again, it's the Market Recap Show, baby. You've joined now the best. It's over 2,500 of you. I say salute to everybody. This will be put up later as a podcast. You can go find it on YouTube. You can find it at X. I'm Trader TV Sean. I'm everywhere, so go find me. Watch out. Cannot be duplicated ever or replicated. It's Trader TV Sean. Make sure you're finding the right handles over there. Look, thank you so much for watching. Marissa, I'm coming home. We did it again. It's another Monday in the books. Thank you to everybody. Join me tomorrow at 8:30 as we go all again, man. Watch all these trades live. 4 for 4 on the sticky note. Can we repeat? Join me tomorrow. We'll find out. Thank you so much for watching. Ciao.